All right, we are live. It's Saturday night. I'm Tony Bruno. It is Get It Off Your Chest. Let's talk about it. A lot of things going on this year, a lot of things going on this week. I saw a great little saying. Oh, God, I wish I could remember it now. I think it said, oh, I'll remember it after a while. But anyways, I'm Tony Bruno. Just so everybody knows, we're going to start around the panel and everybody's going to introduce themselves. I'm Tony Bruno. You can find me on Parler, Instagram, Parler for now, Instagram and Twitter, Twitter for now at T21 Circle. Also, I have an announcement too. You can also find most of my interviews. I think I have about 15 uploaded on Anchor. So that puts me on Spotify, Google Podcasts, couple others. I'm not sure which they are, but there's 6 platforms that Anchor puts me on. And I would suggest anybody that has a podcast to go ahead and put your stuff on Anchor, but check me out. Mine is Lifestyle Philosophies with Tony Bruno. I have interviews with Pat Stedman, Coach Greg Adams, AMS, Ivan Throne, Bulldog Mindset, Steve the Dean Williams, Coach EO, Texas Dom. But there's about 15 of them on there, so check out my Spotify, and it's a pretty cool platform. So I'm new on that. I'm getting some plays, so that's awesome. And so Gonzo, you're next.
Yeah, I'm an artist and a writer, but you can find my latest work over at gonzoschool.com. That's kind of the more political, more kind of real life sort of subjects, and then you can find the fictional fantasy stuff over at midnightauthor.com. And that's basically all you got to know. If you like horror stories and that sort of thing, that's what I do in my spare time. So that'll do it.
Cool. All right. Good evening, everybody. I am Gene from Mantidote on Instagram, like antidote. That's how you find my Instagram right there, Mantidote. You can find me on YouTube, Primal Man, PRIMALMAN, just Primal Man. That's it. We been putting out a lot of cool videos, just a lot of topics on men, how to be better men. Last night we had a great stream with smoking lead cigar reviews. Check it out. You'll love it. That's about it for me, fellas. Looking forward to the show. Frank?
That was awesome, Gene. What a great intro. Always good to be with you guys here. I look forward to the Saturday night podcast every week. A lot of fun. My background, I grew up in New York City, grew up on the streets, entrepreneur, man, grinding it out, making things happen, built several very successful businesses that have allowed me to live the life that I want to live. I currently live out in the Ozarks. I live here because I want to. I had anticipated moving here, not this year, but years from now, because I was living on the beautiful sandy and sunny beaches of Charleston, South Carolina, which was a place I always wanted to live. But circumstances in the world have changed, and I've put into action my plan a bit early, and I'm happy that I have. I do indeed love it here. My mission in life, to help people. I love the financial space. I do a lot in crypto. I do a lot in AI supercomputing. Those very same supercomputers that Wall Street owns, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, those big banks, we now own that technology, me and my partners. And we give people an opportunity to also own that technology and use those seats as a way to produce revenue for themselves and pay themselves massive returns, rather than take what Wall Street or what your pension or 401k or any system is willing to give you. Our battle cry basically in this day and in this hour is to step out of the system that we have trusted in, the system that we have known, and become leaders within our own right, because I think 2021 is going to bring to us a time of decentralized leadership. I don't think we're going to be looking to one person anymore to lead movements and to solve problems. I think we in our own right are going to become leaders in our own spaces, in our own arenas, and we're going to lean on each other for this movement that is so necessary for the days ahead. So some of the things that I'm planning to do and I'm working on are, in the communication space, in the technology space, in the financial space, and just in prosperity and preparedness and wellness and health and family and good things. So anyway, we'll talk a lot tonight. You guys can find me below Other side. Here we go. Inverted. Frank _ Pesci _ You can catch me on Instagram. You can also catch me on YouTube. It's just Frank Pesci, no underscores. And I hope that you guys do subscribe. We have big plans this year, and I promise you we're going to do everything that we can to realize them and to help you realize yours. I appreciate you guys being here with us.
Wow. What an intro, Frank. That's awesome. I feel like ending the stream right now. That's all the info we need. I'm out of here.
It's been a good one.
I love it, man. I love it. I love your enthusiasm. That's fantastic.
I ain't playing, man. That's what I do, bro. I mean, it's late. I'm ready.
Always loved your enthusiasm. That is something.
This is why I'm enthusiastic. This is why.
Oh, wow. How you doing?
Say hi. You're on live YouTube right now. There's millions watching. Just wait.
What's up, man?
Say what's up. That's Mantidote. His name is Mantidote. How cool is that? Like antidote, Mantidote. Pretty cool, right? All right. Say hello. Say goodbye. You can come in anytime you want, okay?
Yes, you can. You're always welcome.
Love you.
Awesome. I love it, Frank. I love it.
Thanks, man. That's my man right there.
Wow. That's great. That's great, man. That whole fatherhood thing is awesome. You know, you should be proud of yourself. I can tell you for sure.
I'm humble.
Let's get on tonight's topic, man. And I think tonight's topic is going to be just what's going on in the world. I know people say these are crazy times right now, but I really don't think so. I kind of think these are exciting times. I'm trying to have a very positive outlook. I think when people watch mainstream media, it's going to bring you down. People are glued to the TV right now. I hope you're glued to us right now. So this is where you're going to get real information. You're going to get the word from, we'll call it from the troops down on the ground. And that's what we are, is the troops on the ground. We've got every age here. I'm in my 50s. Frank, you're in your mid-30s, correct?
Mid to late. Yeah, just getting over the hill there.
And we got Gonzo, who's in his early 20s, and Man is really in his, we'll call it early mid-30s. So
there you go.
You've got
He's in his Messiah years. He's in Messiah years.
Yeah. And we always have people jumping on. We might have a couple special guests like we always do. So any of my fellow content creators that are watching, you are welcome to come on. I am going to put a StreamYard live link in the chat. Anybody else too, feel free to jump on that link. And what I'll do is you come backstage. I check you out for a minute. So just be patient when you're backstage. And then we'll bring you on to say hi and say your piece, get it off your chest. That's what it's about. I'm going to start with what happened at the Capitol. I've been doing some, we'll call analyzing, which I don't think I should do. I think this is one of the issues what we're having. People, I think, who are analyzing this are missing the point 100%. I think there was a political agenda behind the Capitol. What happened there? I don't think it's what everybody thinks it is. That's my opinion. You can call it conspiracy theory, whatever you want, but I think there's a political agenda that we're not seeing. I think we're looking, what we're doing is we're looking for information. We all want that information. We want it quick. We're in the age of everything is quick, fast food. Order something on Amazon, it's here tomorrow. But I don't think we're going to get our closure on what's happened, I don't think, until January 20th. That's my opinion. But I think everybody needs to kind of chill out, relax, see what's going on, stop analyzing. Definitely try not to watch the news. This is one thing that I've said. I remember during the real riots, this past summer, what I suggested to people was to, when you're watching your news, turn the sound off and you get a completely different perspective. Without that talking head telling you what's going on, when you watch something and you watch it without that commentary, it's going to change your opinion and your view on what's going on. So what do you guys think of that?
I mean, I agree 100%. I mean, I don't watch, when I do watch the news, You know, because I understand, like, in the back of my head, I just have this preconception that the news is just, it's fake. It's made to make you angry. That's how every word they say, that is how it is created. It is written to make you angry. And it is regardless of your political standing. So if you're watching CNN, you're watching Fox, whatever the case may be, it's all designed to make you angry.
I'd like to say this really quick, and I agree with you too, both of y'all. Michael Bunker brought up a point in his show tonight, about turning your power off grid.
Yeah.
Try it out. Turn your power off. See what happens. Live without power for 3 days. Try it out. Why not? Let me know how it works out for you. Maybe you'll have a different perspective.
You know what?
I know I can handle it. I have a big generator in the garage. We've had hurricanes, and it was actually kind of nice. You know, the funny part was the last time I went for 6 days, I think it was. It was funny because for the first couple nights I didn't have any TV on. Then I decided to plug in my whole surround system in the cable box, and just by chance the cable worked. So it was kind of cool to actually watch the Weather Channel. That was what I really wanted to watch. But yeah, I mean, it was, you know, it's definitely different when you don't have power, for sure. So, Frank, you were saying? Sorry.
No, I was just saying, man, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. It was just a little bit laggy, so I apologize. But I had my power go out here a couple of weeks ago, and I'll tell you what, man, the stillness of the air, just the deadness of the air, I could hear it. I could feel it. It was super unsettling. I had never felt it that way before. And maybe it's because I'm running higher bandwidth now than I ever have before. But it just shows you that this bandwidth, this Wi-Fi, the power, everything around us, it's electrically charged, and it interacts with our body in ways that, you know, we take for granted or we don't even notice. And man, I just thought that was interesting. I was like, yo, I need to go outside for a minute. This is crazy. So the things that we don't notice that are happening all around us.
Yeah.
Right? You guys ever notice that?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. I'm glad you shared that. I actually think I'm like Tony. I've been without power before through hurricanes and storms and stuff like that. And it's sort of a zen kind of experience. It really is. When the only light source you have is candles, you got to use blankets to keep warm, or if you're in the winter, open the windows when it's you know, summertime. It's a eye-opening experience to not have power, and I don't think anyone's really familiar with what it feels like. But I encourage you to not necessarily like end your power service, but cut your power off for a few hours. Cut it off for a day. See if it changes your perspective on things. Try it out.
You know, and given the political atmosphere that we're living in, I don't put it past the government or utilities or anybody to cut off the power to control the people. For as long as they need to. When we were in Iraq, when the United States was in Iraq, the United States took over the power grid, and Saddam Hussein used to give, you know, the Iraqis electricity. They would get rationed electricity, let's say 6 hours a day. I don't remember exactly what the figures were. But by the time the U.S. had power over the grid or had control over the power grid, they were only giving the Iraqis 2 hours a day, and that caused riots. So, you know, the United States has experience with rationing power and controlling the power. And make no mistake about it, a lot of that was done as part of the strategy. So don't think that can't be used here.
Well, to me, it's like, I enjoyed it. I did. I thought it was just a different kind of vibe, like you said, not hearing things, you know what I mean? It's never been in like a hurricane or like, you know, we get them frequently here. It's kind of weird, like the wind's blowing really hard. I'm in my house, it's all shuttered up, and then the power goes off. The power goes on. The power will go off in another 15 minutes. Stay off a little longer, and then finally you hear that what do you call them on the poles? The
Transformers.
Transformer blow, and that's the end. You know it's the end.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Gene, you've been there. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and then you don't have power for up to 5-7 days sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's that reality where everything just goes silent. Ceiling fans stop, air conditioning stops, everything stops.
People lose their minds. You go out in the streets, you go to the store, that's all you hear them talk about. Y'all got power? No, we still ain't got power. Oh man, I'm about to lose my mind. I'm calling the people. I'm letting them know this, and I'm telling them a piece of my mind. They are upset about their power being gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, a year and a half ago.
If your food dies, if your food
Oh, yeah.
spoils, then it sucks.
Gonzo, you have an avatar?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm having some issues here, but
Oh, okay.
I'll be back.
I was
But
gonna say, changed.
yeah, I've upgraded. Yeah, no, I was just gonna say because I mean, about a year and a half ago, or yeah, I think it's gonna be a year and a half ago. I mean, that's what they were doing in California. They were shutting off the power for days at a time, and it would be the whole neighborhood, including the grocery stores and all the business. Everything died in that town. Everything died. Economically, it was a disaster. Everybody's property values tanked, and it was a major recession in that area, just because they were shutting off the power and people didn't know how to handle it because it was just very random. It's like, okay, the wind's picking up. Now you're not going to be able to use anything.
What is the reason they were shutting the power off? Is it a brownout? What's going on? What was going on?
Yeah. Okay. So basically what happened was back then they were like, you know, because they've had equipment all through California, all these old power lines and things like that have been standing for 200 years and have not been changed and fixed and maintained. And so they have all this old equipment, and it's basically just been mismanaged because, and obviously a lot of people on Twitter were very quick to say, yeah, this is why capitalism sucks. To which I say, no, capitalism does not suck, and I'll tell you why. This has nothing to do with capitalism. It's because PG&E is a company that has been bailed out by the U.S. government every time it has gone bankrupt. That is what has happened. The government keeps bailing out PG&E, and there is zero competition. They are the only people you can go to. It is a giant monopoly. And so what was happening is their equipment was old. It's being mismanaged. Nobody can replace them. And they were deemed responsible for this giant campfire that happened. I'm sure you guys heard about that. But there was a whole area up in Northern California. It was like the most deadly fire in ever or something like that. And I was right next to there. And it burned up. And PG&E was deemed responsible. It was because of they weren't maintaining things. It was a power cause, I guess. And so
the tree limbs caught the power lines or something. Is that what happened?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And yeah, they were just deemed responsible after an investigation. So because they were deemed responsible, now they're like, okay, anytime the wind picks up in California, we're turning off all the power for everyone for days. We're just going to turn it off until the wind's gone. And that was their solution, because that was keeping everybody safer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's why it happened. But it was a massive, massive disaster for everybody. I mean, people losing everything.
I don't think the average person is able to adapt to too much anymore. I don't think the average person can just adapt. To me, like, I think about actual shit hitting the fan and what would I do? When I say shit hitting the fan, power grid going off, I'm on an island. So on this island, I was talking to somebody else about this. Because I'm on an island, I think that if the shit ever did hit the fan, they would block the bridges. So I think we would be secluded here, which would kind of be a good thing. You know, I think about like fishing. You know, I could feed myself easily. not only with the food stores that I have saved up, but I think fishing, you would have to learn to eat squirrel, possum, raccoon. I mean, all meat is edible. So I think that the average person is not comfortable, just not comfortable if something happens. Think of, I mean, I think of myself. What happens if you lose your cell phone? People panic. I've been down that road myself. You know, I've driven to work one day. When I got there, I'm like, oh crap, where's my cell phone? And luckily I put it on my tailgate, and I did have a load in the truck, so I didn't drive like a madman, and my phone was on my tailgate the whole time. But I had that panic mode set in. Like, where's my phone? You know?
Yeah.
And for me, it's for business, you know, it's important. So
Yeah, that's how they control the narrative, by the way. They're constantly feeding us information, which is, you know, causing us to feel a certain way, to act a certain way. So all these things that are happening right now is a battle for the narrative. You know, Gonzo, you pointed out Fox News and CNN, but in reality, they're actually the same. Those are the same media companies, more or less. And what we need now into the future is we need an alternate platform where it has a standalone internet service, standalone electricity, and it's a message that's entirely different than what the media gives us. Because essentially, we're under what's called information overload right now. You know, there's so much disinformation that's floating around. I can't tell you how many texts I got today about certain military operations or you know, things that were happening within the deep state and all the stuff that's going on. And like, you know, like all that Q and everything else, that, you know, it's too much information. The human mind is not meant to handle all of that. And they're using it as a weapon, and propaganda and information is how you get people to move rank and file into a certain direction. So, you know, we have to be real careful with how we're receiving this information, what information we're receiving. I can say, you know, with a high degree of confidence that since I moved out to the mountains of the Ozarks, man, I spend way less time on the news cycle. Spend way less time worrying about, you know, what's going on in the world. I mean, does it matter? Yeah, it matters, because this is our country. And ultimately, you know, this is where we're all at right now. We have to do what we can to safeguard where we're at and make a better life for our children that are coming up behind us. But we need to be smart. We need to work together. We need to form relationships. We need to be easy, man, because, you know, they're trying to have people at each other's throats right now. Like the whole thing that just happened in the Capitol. You know, look, there's a lot of information surrounding that. I'm not going to go ahead and start forming full-blown opinions because I cannot weigh out all the information. All I can know is, you know, where I'm at right now and what my red lines are, so to speak. And I encourage everybody to know what your lines are, to know how far you're willing to go with whatever it is that you're going to do in any circumstance, situation, so that you'll never come back later and be like, man, I acted stupid. I acted harshly. You'll be able to say, no matter what it is, at the end of the day, man, you know, I thought about it. I did exactly what I always thought that I would do in that situation. I have no regrets, no matter how the outcome is. So I say all that to say that right now and for the next 10, 12, 20 days, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is, it's all going to be about the narrative. And there's going to be tremendous censorship and deplatforming that's happening. And I just want to encourage you guys to continue to look for other avenues to get your information out there or to form community with the tools that we have and the tools that we will develop.
Well, you know what, Frank, that brings us right back to the main topic we were starting with is people are analyzing this whole scene at the Capitol and what's going on. So let's do our own analyzation of what's going on. The theory that I like is that it was a distraction. What happened at the Capitol was a distraction. I'm going to bring you guys this theory, and I really want you to. It was Eric Trump's birthday also. That was one of the things that happened. So this is the theory that the whole Trump family had a reason to get together. Okay? And the reason is that everybody went to the Capitol so the president could leave town. Because from what I understand, he was not in the White House when this happened. This is the kind of the information that I'm
giving a speech. He was giving a speech when it was happening at the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, well, that too. I don't know if I believe that either. But
I mean, I know people that were there, and this is boots on the ground information. He was giving a speech, and he said, "Let's go to the Capitol and peacefully let our presence be known." Essentially, and then they marched over there. And if you look at the video,
I understand that. Yeah, I understand that. But after, when they went to the Capitol, after the president spoke, and everybody, let's go to the Capitol. To me, that was a distraction, so they could actually leave and go someplace safe. Now, we know that he didn't go to Texas. What's in Texas? Camp David, correct?
I don't know that Camp David is there. I was always under the impression that Camp David was very close to Washington, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I think it's in Texas, from what I understand. So, and he wouldn't go there. That's, you can.
We got a fact checker.
Yeah. But I believe it was a distraction to get the family out, get the family together, get them all out, get them on a plane. Now I think there's 4 Air Force Ones. One is a military version also. So I think that's it's kind of brings it along the lines of we'll call it the doomsday plan. So I think what the issue was I think it was a distraction more than anything else, is what I think. And the more I've researched it, I'm like, this is how I'm analyzing it now, after I cleared my head for a few days. So we can look at all the things that happened, but we have to understand that there was a reason why they happened. So what's your guys' take on that?
Now, when you say distraction for who?
A distraction for the president, or distraction just to, how do I put this? To distract from what's really going on with President Trump.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would just, and tell me how you guys feel about this, right? But you remember when George Floyd happened? How long did it take for them to have the body cam footage and for that to actually come out? I want to say it was something like 6 months or 5 months. It was absurd, right? Now, I made a video. It wasn't right after it happened, but it was a little bit after it had happened. And George Floyd wasn't really the subject, the main talking point of that exact video. But what I will say is that when I made that video, and now when I go back and listen to it after all of the information has come out, it is obvious to me, it is painfully obvious, that the most important information was actually the information that was not out. It was the stuff that nobody had talked about. It was the stuff that was just hiding out there. And so I think the way I would approach a situation like this is actually, what do we not know? Because that's the thing. They totally corner you with what you don't know. Because when I made that video, I didn't really talk about resisting arrest, even though that's a very important subject, right? That's a very important thing when it comes to that topic. When it comes to, police deaths and arrests and everything, stuff that goes wrong, the number one talking point now that we're looking back on all this is resisting arrest. But that was not in my video. It was totally absent. So.
But how can you create a narrative when you have proof? Do you see what I'm saying? If they were to put that out, that narrative would have been squashed immediately.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the only way their narratives was able to stand, was because there was that empty space that people weren't aware of.
I wrote down a quote, and this is applicable right now to what you're saying. This is a quote. I can't even remember where I got it from, but it says, "One does not change the truth, one conforms to it."
That's a good
Have
one.
you ever heard that?
I don't think I've heard it before, but it's true. Well,
You know, there's a lot of focus now on Donald Trump's statements, and not so much what he said, but what he doesn't say. And, you know, people are clinging to every opportunity for hope, in that their hope is found in one man, because they believe in the movement and they recognize that he's the leader of the movement. But I think that people need to get prepared that if their desire is, you know, really for this movement, then they need to be ready to look for new leaders to come up in this movement and be ready to get behind new leaders. Because the movement to make America great again, or to make America prosperous, or to, you know, make America just a better place in general for all people, cannot rest on the shoulders of one man. A man is only a man. And as I read, you know, different things. Oh, Trump is at Cheyenne Mountain right now with Nancy Pelosi's laptop. A special forces team was embedded with the Antifa and went into Nancy Pelosi's office and took the computer. And now they're bringing out 195,000 sealed indictments. And don't worry, everything's going to be good. We're setting up a new republic, and it's going to start March 1st. And that was what the founders originally wanted when they created this. Look, enough, because, you know, when you put out that kind of information, people they wait. They say, okay, I can wait till March. I'll do nothing else. I'll promote nobody else. I'll just believe on this one promise. But in reality, if you're going to believe in a promise, you can only believe in a promise to the extent that you can trust the promise. You can trust the promise giver. And who's giving us these promises except for voices on the internet? People who are looking to put out that one tweet or that one piece of information that's going to make them get 100,000 followers. We have to be really careful, man. You know, you got to put your trust in God, and you have to be willing to fulfill your duties as a man, which include family and, you know, being a protector and a provider and all these things. And I would just caution people with this news cycle and the information that comes out there, not to overanalyze it to the extent where you're like, well, he didn't actually concede. He just said that there would be a peaceful transition of power on January 20th. But what he really meant is he's going to transition power from a democracy to a republic.
Okay.
So maybe
it's funny you said that, Frank. It's funny because this is another thing that I heard about that. He never said the date. Now people are saying he means a peaceful transition of power in another 4 years.
I believe that he did say the date. I thought I heard him say January 20th. But here we go, though. This is the rabbit hole. So January 20th is going to come. And if he's in, great. If he's not, guess what? We're still free men. We're free to the extent that we're willing to be free. Just like William Wallace said. Look at that movie. That's based on a true story. And you have to be willing and wanting to be free, no matter who is in power, no matter if it's Longshanks or Trump or anybody else, because we know that the deep state, you know, these people, they have one mission, and that's to control and to create money for themselves and to enslave the populace. They love this. They worship this. So I would just, again, let's not get too optimistic about specific news cycles or specific covert ops that are supposedly going on. And let us just be ready to stand on the principles that we believe in and stand together as community.
People love the build up. They love the drama, though. You know,
it doesn't pay.
It don't pay realistically, but I don't blame them. It's like watching a soap opera.
Well, I think people are so involved and so how can you not think about it?
Yeah,
It's your country.
absolutely. Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying we shouldn't think about it. I'm saying we should be actionable about it. Because when people follow things like Q, to me, that's a psyop. That is a psyop so that people don't take any type of responsibility for what's going on. And they say, don't worry, there's some secret mission going on. All I got to do is wait. And,
don't listen to Q.
Look where we're at. Look where we are at. You know, we have a representative government. We don't have a rulership here. The people are the rulers of the representatives. Therefore, the representatives are supposed to carry out our will. But we have more and more began to view them as rulers over the people, and we have allowed them to do whatever they want to do without any type of accountability. To the extent that we don't even have a free and fair election. I don't care what anybody says. If 50% of the population is not happy with the election, then the election is not free and fair. Period. End of story. Okay? Yeah. So changes, you know, I don't know that this is redeemable personally. I think that we're at the point now where it's as if the Lord himself is saying, you know what? The reason that you're seeing evil proliferate to the extent that it has is just to show you that no man can ever bring absolute and true justice. Only God can bring justice. And there will come a time when God returns, when Jesus himself returns, and justice will actually be served, and he will have the final word. It says that every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess on the earth and under the earth that he is Lord. And that day will come. And I think that these things need to happen, right? There needs to be darkness in order for light to shine through. So again, I love this country. I served this country for 8 years. And I believe in this country, and I want my children to have a home in this country, and I'm willing to do the work. But we can't just rely on news cycle information to say, don't worry. Q said there's 195,000 indictments, so let me just go back to doing nothing. Because there are things that we can do that are peaceful and that are affectionate, or are effective and affectionate. How about that? So what say you, gentlemen?
I'm going to bring in, I know we got Anthony, AKA the Fouch. Anthony, AKA the Fouch, welcome tonight. I've got somebody backstage named Justin. I'm going to bring him on real quick. Justin, I want you to say hello and go ahead and make it quick, at least on introducing yourself. I guess not. Well, he's gone.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Tony, how you doing?
Justin left, so that's all right.
Did Justin have a face or an avatar?
No, he had a face. He had a face. Looked like he was pounding a drink, and that's cool. But if he wanted to come back on, that's great. Like I tell everybody, if you want to click the link, if you do click the live link here, just have some friggin' patience. I see you in there. I'm not going to bring you on in the middle of somebody's while somebody's talking. So just have some patience, because I think we all need some freaking patience right now. So, and I'm going to ask anybody that wants to come on, be respectful, or I will flush you quicker than shit. You have no idea. But everybody is welcome. Be respectful. Jump on and say hello. So, let's welcome Anthony, A.K. the Fouch. So,
hey, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
You probably well, I'll tell you. I actually my IT department picked up the voice of one of your regulars, so I'm going to use that voice because
I noticed.
I don't want to speak in an official capacity, but because this isn't live, we're just talking amongst ourselves. You know what I mean? I like you guys. I want to give you some inside scoop.
We'd like that. What is your take, the Fouch? What is going on at the Capitol? What happened? I'd really like to just.
Well, actually, I actually don't even. I'm as clueless as you guys. I have no idea. I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen since the new guy came in.
I thought you were the guy that took the podium.
No, I'm a doctor. I was behind the scene. I've been doing some other things, you know. But let me tell you what's going to happen next. Now, you know, this is like the post game stuff. So I'm gonna suggest to the new president elect that we're gonna do a 1 month shutdown, total shutdown of the whole country. What do you guys think about that?
The Fauch, would you explain a shutdown for us?
Well, basically, just like take California and then spread it across all 50 states. If you can imagine that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm not shutting down. That's what I think. I'm not doing. I'm not doing that.
Okay. I know. I'm not actually. Did I say what you? I said what you think.
No. We're playing a role playing game. So you're saying you're Fauci and you're saying to shut down. I'm telling you no.
Whoa! I didn't say I'm Fauci.
Well, what about all the Hollywood studios? Can we keep those open during the lockdown?
Well, I don't. There hasn't been a lot of good movies in the last 3 years, so I don't know. Probably keeping them down, it wouldn't matter one way or another, would it? I mean, really, what's the last good movie we've seen? Honestly, the panel. What's the last good movie you guys have seen?
Oh, dude, that's the hardest question I got all night.
Yeah, that's the best question of the night because you really got me thinking. I'm telling you,
Shit.
I saw the movie theater. Wow.
I was waiting for the goddamn James Bond film, but they shut that shit down. Like shit, you know.
Wait. Isn't that Jane Bond, not James Bond?
Yeah, now it is. Shit, man. This whole thing's fucked up. But anyways, you know. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's nothing. But you know, so look, I'm not going to suggest a shutdown because it works. I'm suggesting it because we got to get out of this cycle. That's why. And basically, I'm going to be running things for the first couple months anyway. So, I mean, you know, not officially, guys. We can't.
AKA the Fauch, I want to ask you the question that we're talking about, which is people are analyzing the situation at the Capitol. Okay, everybody's analyzing it, wants to know, but I think there's a political agenda that we're missing. I think it was a distraction. So what do you think the distraction was about? The news hasn't talked a whole lot about, you notice the news haven't talked a whole lot about.
It was about turning the world on Trump people.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, this is what I think it was. And it's like the person that I have the voice of is a Rams fan. Now, I'm not a Rams fan because I don't live there. But basically, when they got down to the fourth quarter, they were just trying to like waste time and, you know, like just prevent defense. That's basically what it is. Just get this guy in. And I mean, we got all the things of power. Let's just do whatever we can. It doesn't matter. You know, even if, you know, I mean, we stole the election. I mean, it's like, what else do you need? I mean, if we can do that, we can just get it over the you know, get it over the end zone, get the first down, time runs out, it's done. Basically, that's it. You know. What do you guys think?
I want to ask you guys about Pence. I want to start with Gonzo.
Yeah, what do you got?
What do you think of Mike Pence?
What do I think of him? You know, it's really interesting because I guess just as a quick background, you know, that's a good comment.
Michael Bunker's got a great comment. Michael Bunker, you are welcome to join in. I'm going to put the your input is extremely welcome here. So I'm going to put a live link in the chat. So if you want to jump in, man, I'll bring you right on. So
yeah. So Mike Pence.
That's funny you said that, Paul. I agree. I was thinking the same thing on Paul's comment there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
When to be totally honest with you, I didn't know a whole lot about Mike Pence going into Trump's presidency. I didn't really know much about him at all. The most that I have seen of him has been his debate with Kamala Harris last year. And I was actually, when that happened, I was very impressed. I was kind of like, okay, yeah, like this is, this is a fairly civil debate considering there's still a lot of nastiness. I mean, Kamala Harris is like the most evil, woman ever.
I'm speaking. I'm
speaking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I immediately felt like, wow, she's just sitting there just trying to placate all the damn feminists out there.
I'm speaking.
I joke sometimes that she should have her name changed to Karen, but
Yeah.
They call her Heels Up Harris.
Heels Up Harris. I mean, she's a liar. She tells these really amazing lies that I think are great. But I was just impressed to see Pence kind of just keep trucking through, and he wasn't afraid to interrupt. Clearly, she was trying to pull the feminism card, be like, you can't interrupt me, and he was like, in the politest way possible, like, fuck you, I'm gonna interrupt you, and I'm gonna finish my points. And I was very impressed. I'm like, this is great. I've heard him talk a few times after that. I thought he was pretty good, but that's the kind of thing with I don't have expectations of anybody. So it does not surprise me when people turn. It does not surprise me when people change their pace or change their step. They go a different direction. It's kind of expected. I mean, that's just how it is in the world. I mean, I think Jesse had a really good point the other day. Jesse on his show was saying, it happened to Jesus. Why wouldn't it happen to any of us? This is kind of the way life is. It's like, yeah, they turned on Jesus. So, it's like people are going to turn. And so I don't know. I don't, like I said, I can't get inside of Pence's head. I think I said this last time. I don't know exactly the full story. But as it stands right now, based on his actions, based on what he's done, I definitely think that, yeah, I mean, he seems to me like a politician. That's basically it. He's a politician.
I'm so glad you said that, because that's exactly what I was going to say when you got done. Was he proved himself as a politician. Mm-hmm. When he gave Nancy Pelosi the elbow bump, that was all I needed to see. But I also thought there's a possibility, could he be playing them? And that's what I'm hoping. I hate to want to lose faith in somebody. Not that I had much faith in him anyways. Because you have a regular person, Donald Trump, a businessman, and then you throw a politician into him. I mean, when he was getting, back in 2015, when he was getting everything he needed, where he's going to get the Republican nomination, he needed a running mate. And anybody would have jumped on board to be a part of the Trump train at the time. Anybody. It's to be on board. But maybe what happened is he saw the Trump train was leaving, and he decided that, okay, it's time to turn co. And that's what he did.
Time to cash in.
Well,
that's the word.
Yeah, and I know that Twitter had a hashtag trending yesterday, which was, and it's funny because they let it run for a while, and it was hang Mike Pence. Or I think it was hang Pence or hang Mike Pence. So, and now, of course, they let it run for a while, then they took it off.
Yeah, he's a politician.
He did what he had to do.
Yeah, he's no different than the other one, so I don't have much more to say about it than that.
I don't know if he did what he had to do. I don't know if I agree with that statement. I think what he had to do was to simply prove that the election that was in his jurisdiction, was to prove that the election was the election results were proper. I think there's 80, 90, 100 million people that would want to see that. And I don't care if you're of voting age or not. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are 17, 16 that would like, or people that just didn't vote, would like to know that the election results. And I can tell you that if it was on the other way around, I would be okay with it. I don't have an issue with it. So,
yeah, that's the thing about it. It's a mess. And even like you said, if you was on the other side, you still would like to see the truth.
there's Michael Bunker.
All right, Michael.
Hey guys,
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
Glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. I'm going to bring on one other guy, Justin. I want you to go ahead and identify yourself. You're coming on. Justin, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Have you been on here before? You look familiar.
Yeah, I've been here.
Okay, I thought so. All right. All right. How's it going tonight?
It's good. My wife's being, you know, how wives be, but
Okay.
What's that like?
no,
I'm going to bring one more on. I'm going to bring on, I'm not sure who this is. Hang on one second. We had somebody else in there. Oh, it's Jonathan Mitchell. He comes in and out. I'm going to add him real quick. You guys, his stream is kind of messed up. I try to bring him on, and sometimes I can't. But let's say hi to Jonathan Mitchell real quick.
uh-oh.
Jonathan, how you doing?
Hey Jonathan.
Good. Frank, which state you from?
Missouri.
Hey, Frank. Missouri.
How are you, sir?
Good.
Well,
Glad you're here, man.
let's get back on topic. And the topic is, are we overanalyzing this? I want to go to Michael Bunker, man. I want to go to Michael Bunker because I was listening to his stream earlier. So do you think that this was a distraction, what happened at the Capitol? Do you think it was a distraction on something bigger?
I don't know. I really don't. I think sometimes you just kind of get to the point where everybody lies, and so the government clearly lies. The media's lying. Been lied enough by the conspiracy theorists. At some point, it becomes theater, and I don't know how anybody can know. We could speculate, but the big thing is we're all interested. Everybody's interested because we have to admit they have way too much power. The only reason we care is because these people have the power to take everything away and to silence everybody. They should, if they didn't have that much power, we wouldn't care. And I just sit there and I'm hoping people are doing things and active and supporting the right things and trying to become more independent and those type of things, and not investing so much energy in these people that have just way too much power to take away everything you have and your freedom and everything else. And we give them that power with our attention, you know? So I just honestly I don't know how anybody knows. How does anybody, what we know is what the people we kind of trust the most tell us. But at the end of the day, how do we even know? Because they all lie, right?
Yeah, I mean, who can you trust?
Right.
I mean, who can we trust? I can't. I have a hard time trusting any politician. Any politician.
Right.
I don't care if it's at the local level. I just don't. It's just the word politician. That just,
Believe the science. Believe the science.
yeah.
Yeah.
Justin, what's your take on this?
No, I agree with what was said, but I do agree that you know, like the truth doesn't have to come out of this like forum. You know what I'm saying? Like it can come what?
No, go ahead, man.
No, it can come out of this forum. It really can. Like like there's people here that can, they have like their own rights and thoughts, and they shouldn't be like tranquilized. You know what I'm saying? Like
You
they
gotta
should
believe
be
the science, my friend.
they
Believe
should
the
be
science.
open to discourse too.
Well, are people open to discourse? And I think that's one of the issues that we have right now is people aren't open to discussion. And
What they should be.
but Gonzo, what's the saying? What's the old saying? When the talking stops,
The shooting starts.
the shooting starts.
I don't
And when
want
the
to
looting
start
starts, the
shooting
shooting
people.
I don't either.
No.
Let's
No, but it's
not
Neither do I.
start- I don't want to. Come on, let's not start shooting people.
Well, no, it's just that
Well, yeah, let's shoot people in the arm.
when a
The vaccine.
conversation can't happen, that's what's next.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like any of that.
But that's
Not
the truth.
necessarily. There's also compliance. People will more likely comply than not.
Either way, I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's the quote I said, one does not change the truth, one conforms to it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to remember where I got that quote. I wrote it down this week, but I can't remember where I got it. But that's a great quote. Gonzo, you're a fact checker.
Yeah,
Check that.
here, let me.
One does not change the truth, one conforms to it. I'm curious where that came from.
Hey, Justin, where you from, buddy?
Memphis.
Nice. I hear that southern accent. That's why I ask.
Well, good for you. You win.
Let's shoot everybody in the arm with a vaccine.
Hey, Fauch, no one's taking vax.
Yeah.
Oh,
We ain't talking, Fauch. Hey, Fauch, we ain't talking about the vaccine right now. Okay?
no, sorry. I thought I had a solution for you guys.
Look at speak when spoken to, Fauch.
Jesus, man.
So, Michael, where are you located, Michael Bunker?
Fauch, you're just a face.
Central Texas.
Yeah.
That's right. Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome. I'm not too far from up here in the Ozarks.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I got family up there.
Very good. Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about you from our panel.
Well,
I thought it was.
I love Michael Bunker, man. I like his attitude, man. When he was on here last time, it just it was very, very refreshing to have a just so you know, Frank, Michael Bunker is an off the grid guy. So Michael Bunker, explain off the grid.
Okay, so off grid can be anything from Bill Gates having solar panels and his house running just like everybody else's. It's just an alternative grid. Off grid is when you don't even you utilize the alternative grid so up at my cottage we don't have solar panels, we don't have generator. I'm at my office and I'm running off batteries right now. I use it for writing books and that's about it.
I want to welcome one of my good friends, man, Chad.
Hey, Chad.
Chad is going to report from the front lines in DC. So now, Chad, you were there up to the police. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Michael, but I wanted to bring him on. Chad was you went right up to the police barricades, correct? Unmute yourself.
There we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Perfect.
All right, sweet. What's up, guys? Thanks for bringing me on, Tony.
Yes, sir.
Guys.
Just so you guys know, Chad's a good friend of mine. He also is and Frank, you know Chad.
Yeah, he had a beard though. He shaved his beard off.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, I don't
What's up,
recognize Frank, but it's really small, the camera. Yeah.
Yeah, Frank.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Frank, I remember you, man. Sweet.
What up, fam? That's so
awesome,
funny.
dude.
Yeah, dude, I got you right here, bro, my phone with a 570 number.
Yes, sir. Representing Pennsylvania.
That's right, man. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you.
Give us the scoop from the front lines. Give us a quick. And I know you were there with Max and Lloyd, so give us a quick, just a quick idea of how your day was there. In other words, where did you guys watch the speech, and then what happened after that?
All right. So yeah, I joined at a great time. You guys were actually just talking about the rally. Yeah, so basically we live in as Tony just referenced, another guy of ours called Lloyd lives in New York City. I live in Pennsylvania, and so does the other guy, Max. So we went with 2 other friends, and it took about a 4-hour drive. We got down there, and the traffic was crazy. And I actually went to both rallies, the both last 2 previous ones as well. And the turnout this time was absolutely insane. Thousands of people. So it took over an hour to find parking. By the time we get there, we finally got there, and it was like maybe noonish. And yeah, we ended up catching the Trump speech. We were not able to get like front line, but we got really close, and we had to watch from a monitor like to actually see Trump. But massive turnout. We caught the speech. It was badass. And then we ended up going back to our car to get some drinks in between there and the Capitol. And we get to the Capitol, and we didn't expect the turnout that ensued. We get over there, and we just see a sea of red. And there's a bunch of people outside the Capitol. And from a distance, we see some people like up top, but didn't really think anything of it. Thought it was maybe just security. But when we get there, it is packed, and there's already people like way up top. And on the right side, there's some metal scaffolding, and on the left too, and some steps. And everybody's fighting to get up top. And by the time we got there, though, I believe they were already inside. So, and we ourselves did not go inside. But we ended up having to fight through a massive crowd. But we finally got up top, and yeah, we were right at the police line. And it was pretty crazy. Everybody there was pretty peaceful, honestly, from what we saw. But we did see a bunch of fights in between, potentially from Antifa members that were disguising themselves as Trump supporters. As we've seen on camera, confirmed there were people from Antifa in the crowd. But on our side specifically, which was the right side, there was, from what we saw, no Antifa members. But we did get tear gas thrown several times near us, and we did get hit by it, which is no fun at all, getting tear gassed. But yeah, our side was pretty peaceful, including ourselves. We didn't cause any fights specifically. We were right in front of the police. One of our friends, Max, got almost sprayed in the eyes, but he got the pepper spray like on his face and nose, so he didn't exactly get hit in the eyes. But it was definitely intense. A lot of rowdy people, and a lot of people just standing up for our fucking country. So cheers to that.
So just so you guys know, do you remember the video I sent you? I know I sent it to Gonzo and Man, the video of the guys getting chased down by Antifa.
Yep.
That is Chad. Just so you guys know, if that puts any context to Chad. I'm going to bring
Wait, that was Chad's video?
Yeah, in the video, it was myself, and it was another friend called Max, who's actually here as well, but he's downstairs. Him and I just got back from a cigar lounge, which was pretty great. One nearby us. But yeah, it was me and him in the video that got attacked by.
That's your YouTube channel? That's your YouTube channel?
No, that's his YouTube channel, but it was me and him in the video.
Okay.
But yeah, it was really crazy, man. It was like a crowd of 70, maybe even 100 of them, and they were just chasing us. This was the first rally we went to. We went to all 3, but they were just chasing us, and there was like so many of them. We were really outnumbered. There was nothing really we could do, but they were just throwing shit at us. They threw something like really hard at my arm. I don't know. It felt like a brick, but it had my arm.
This is the first one, right? You're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, it was definitely intense. Thankfully, we got out like right. And the other thing that happened was we were definitely drinking, and pretty tipsy at that point. But as we were leaving, because everybody started getting like siphoned out and tear gas was flying off everywhere, so we decided it was probably a good time to not be standing like right on top of Capitol. So as we were leaving, there were like helicopters everywhere, and everybody was getting alerts on their phone that there was like a state of emergency in DC. And Trump himself, of course, as everybody knows now, set to leave. But even when he first said it, we didn't leave yet. So we didn't leave for like another hour, but they ended up closing down DC. We're pretty lucky we were able to get out and start driving back because all the roads were getting closed off. And they were like not letting people in and out. It was getting kind of hectic over there. Everybody was like massive traffic that were trying to leave. It was pretty hectic.
Did you see the guy with the horns?
Lloyd did,
Devil?
I believe. I believe Lloyd saw him, but I did not know.
Anybody has any questions for Chad? Shoot it. Michael Bunker, Frank.
Oh,
go
no,
for it.
I'm enjoying listening. It's fascinating.
So I'll ask Chad a question. Why did you not go into the Capitol? Did you have an opportunity? Because it seems now that was a really smart decision.
Okay, so yeah, no, once we got there, and by the time we got to the top, it took probably a good like half hour to even get on top. But Capitol was already breached by the time we even got up there. And that was it. There was no getting inside after that. They barricaded it with the police, and there was no chance. Even if we had one before, it was already gone. But yeah, they had pretty hefty force and more coming in already at that point.
So what was your give me like the whole take on the situation. Good, bad? Did you feel it was escalated by other people, like outsiders? In other words,
I definitely do, yes.
What was the feel?
The feel tone on everybody listening was that it definitely felt infiltrated, and that the majority of people were not trying to attack police and everything. And the feel is that the media narrative flipped it on it becoming a terroristic attack by Trump supporters and all this shit. But most people there were just there for support, and a lot of people didn't even try to climb to the top. We just happened to be the people that wanted to be on top.
But even if it was, we just watched an entire summer of people attacking cops and burning down buildings, and we're like, oh yeah, it's just aggression due to political climate,
burning down private businesses.
You know what I'm saying? I don't see what happened as a problem. You know what I mean? Was the Boston Tea Party a problem? You know what I'm saying? Just putting it out there, guys. We don't have to apologize for everything here.
No, not at all. We talked about the Boston Tea Party actually on Thursday night. Talked exactly about that, like a conspiracy theory. Like did if the higher ups were told that the Patriots were going to dress up as Indians and paddle across the bay, they'd be like, oh no, they're not going to do that. So that's what happened. But we also, I'm going to tell you something. You guys might not agree with me. You might not. What I think would have been a tremendous stand of power, because these people are all getting arrested one by one. And, so be it. If they chose their path, so be it. I'm not going to judge them either way. But I think a stand of solidarity would have been incredible. I think being in front of the Capitol for 24 hours, the whole night, with 55-gallon drums of firewood, people staying warm, people singing the national anthem, waving Trump flags, showing a super patriotic spirit. To me, that would have been the best and the first, we'll call it the first wave. And that's my opinion.
Oh, Tony, if they did that, they would have broken them. We can't have that. Thank God they didn't do it. Thank God they didn't do that.
What do you mean broken them?
No, thank God, Tony. If they would have done that, that would have broken the Congress. We can't have that.
Exactly. To me, that's what it was. To me,
Yeah.
that would have been a beautiful display of patriotism.
Yeah, we can't have that. We can't have that.
Standing your ground in front of the Capitol with 55-gallon drums burning.
Oh no.
With people, you know, with people communicating, and to me, that would have been a beautiful display of solidarity. I mean, let me tell you something, guys. You go on my channel, you can see the protest I went to down my street here, a half a mile from my house. And I hate to say it, but these Antifa and whoever else was there, Black Lives Matter was there. I filmed it all, documented it all. You can see it on my channel. I called it Whisper Loud. I think it could have popped off at any time. I do. And was I prepared? Of course I was. But to me, that was a more powerful statement than patriots kicking in windows. And again, I don't know if it was patriots, and I don't believe it was. But what happens is there's a mob mentality. You guys familiar with a mob mentality? A mob mentality becomes its own brain. It becomes unified and it flows. And I get that. I'm not making judgment on anything, but it's my opinion that if a solid show of 1 million people in front of the Capitol at night, that would have been a more positive. That would be the first wave of patriotism right there. And that's just my opinion. So anybody wants to take it from there, go for it.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it, a lot of times on this channel, on this show. The question from, or actually, well, it was your question to Ivan Throne. When is violence necessary?
When you've had enough.
Yeah, when you've had enough. And so that's kind of been, that is something that has been on my mind ever since all this happened. And just thinking about it, I'm like, it really, my overall takeaway from the thing has just been, yeah, we don't need people stealing. We don't need people taking away the podiums. It's funny. I'll give them that. It's kind of funny, but not legal, not a good idea. Is it a good look? No, not really. So I think from that perspective, I would say, it probably wasn't a good idea. But like we were talking about, I don't think that was the whole thing. Obviously, I think most of the people at this demonstration, I guess we'll call it, most of the people at this demonstration did not want to steal, did not want to do anything. It was literally just a show of patriotism, support for the president. And
what caused violence in the Revolutionary War, Gonzo? Because we look at the Revolutionary War and we say, man, those were great and brave men, and they did a wonderful, wonderful thing for our country. But then we sit back here all the time, we say, no violence, no revolution. Yeah. We despise this action. What was different about them to what's different about today?
Well, I agree with your angle, Frank, because
and this is only a historical analysis, just so everybody understands. Historical analysis.
Well, because my other thought too is, because even though this isn't the exact same situation as, say, we got, we rose Stalin from the dead and we're going to put him in office right now. It's not quite that, to the point where, people are guaranteed it's like, okay, guys, time to get the guns, time to go and take back this country. But that is something that has also been on my mind. And what I've been looking for is, like, do people even have the balls to do that anymore? Because, one of the things that Ivan was talking about is that they kind of just want to prolong things. They want to keep it quiet enough, it'll still be unbearable, but just unbearable enough to where nobody feels comfortable doing anything about it. And we're just going to keep it at that level as long as we can. And so if you do anything about it, if you do take action, you know, when we get to that is violence necessary question, you know, everybody's just going to be standing around not sure what to do.
Everybody always talks about lately making politicians afraid again. I'm just going to say mission accomplished.
I was going to say too, it doesn't really take a lot to scare a politician.
Those fuckers cowering in the chamber there, or in the hall, hiding behind chairs. These are our leaders. Do you think if that happened, you know, going back to what Frank was saying, do you think if that would happen when George Washington was president? Do you think if people were do you think any of our forefathers would have hid behind a fucking chair and took a picture for Twitter with a plastic bag over your head and look at me, I'm scared?
Hell no.
Are you fucking kidding me?
John,
I think they could carry. I think they could carry there though. Now you can't carry in there anymore.
John Hancock signed his name bigger than anybody else because he said they're going to hang us no matter what. I want them to know that I meant it, more or less. That was the attitude. That was the prevailing attitude of these men, who, by the way, if you study their life after the Revolutionary War, many of them went bankrupt. Many of them went broke. Many of them had very, you know, not prosperous lives afterwards because it took a long time to get the country set up to be a functional entity. So selfless service is what's needed during this hour. So if we're the men of this generation who are called to, you know, restore justice or to build a republic or whatever, then selfless service needs to be at the top of our list in terms of character quality for what's coming. And I promise you, what's coming is going to make us all uncomfortable. But pain is, you know, pain's a great teacher, man. Pain's a great teacher. So it is coming. I believe that.
You know, that girl lost her life, but that's the collateral damage of what goes on. And it became such a big thing to where you had people that had already made their mind up can switch their vote because a simple act of violence can change your mind, can sway our leaders that quick. I feel for that woman. I've heard people call her a traitor, everything else. I don't think she should have done what she did. But that's the consequences of revolting, of your actions. I like how Ivan put it. Who's going to be the first? She was the first.
Maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
She was the first to step through that window. Who wants to be the first? She was number one. I mean, I sent you guys that video. I have the video. If anybody hasn't seen it, let me know. I'll send it to you. But I've got the video that is just, it's probably the video nobody has seen or very few people have seen. I had it on my Instagram for, I don't know if anybody saw it. I had it on my Instagram for, it's quite brutal.
Well, I guess the question is, are we the 1776 generation or is somebody else going to be? Because the opportunity for us, the challenge is here. So, you know.
I have no issue standing with my brothers. Zero issue. I've lived 58 great fucking years. Zero issues. Do I want a bloody revolution? Absolutely not.
Nobody does.
Do I invite one? No. Would I stand by my brothers if there was one? Of course I would.
It's a heavy topic. The silence bears witness to that.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're so polarized against any type of violence, blood, any type of, unless you've been to war. Is anybody a veteran on this besides Frank? Michael Bunker, are you a veteran?
No, no.
We know the Fouch is a veteran, but I'm going to say, we'll talk about, think about Jeremy Stafford. Jeremy, if you're watching this, you want to come on. Here's a guy who had an incredible story that was in Iran and took out terrorists, not from 500 yards, not from 200 yards, but with a shotgun. A shotgun.
He was right in there. Yeah.
Door breacher.
You can't get any closer. I remember when you guys remember when he said a shotgun, and we're like, "Wow!" So how close were you?
Yeah, from here to a doorway. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So
It's next level, man.
Oh, we lost the Fouch, right?
yeah, that's okay.
Listen, the war, it doesn't mean that war is just bullets and blood. I think the next phase of this action is coming down to communications. And, I talk about this a lot, having a continuity of communications that are in place for us to continue to share information, because if the takeover is successful, then our voices will be censored if we say anything that the algorithm disagrees with. And we won't be able to have these conversations, because obviously the first thing you want to do to your enemy is confound their communications. If they cannot communicate, they cannot rally, they cannot plan, they cannot do anything. Think about prison. In prison, they segregate prisoners. So what prisoners do is develop kite systems where they're able to send notes using strings and all kinds of stuff. And the human, or even think about the prisoners in the Hanoi Hilton. They created a tapping system where they would knock on the wall and communicate, and that they would create a reality for themselves that only ingenuity will make born for you. So I think it's really important for us to create a system of communications that does not rely on the current infrastructure. We have a lot of smart people out there. I mean, if indeed 79 million people, voted for Trump, then that means 79 million people have the idea that the country should go a certain way and should be committed to creating a good and prosperous nation for our future. So I would just, implore anybody out there with these kinds of expertise. I will tell you that I know for a fact that there are financiers, good money that is ready to get behind these types of ideas. The next phase of this action ultimately rests in communication, because that's what's coming next. And then planning. So we'll have to have leaders that are going to rise up and plan and be able to communicate with the people ideas that are receivable. Because right now, nobody's going to stand up on the podium and say, let's go for blood, because the majority of the population is not going to go with that. It's just not going to happen. It won't be successful. And that should not necessarily be the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal should be to maintain or improve our quality of life for us and for the next generation. So I really feel that communication and obviously food supply and water and the life essentials, these are things we need to address yesterday. But if not yesterday, then definitely today. So that's my take on kind of what's next.
Well, just take what you were saying.
It's definitely
there,
interesting, Frank. And I think to myself, like, holy shit, man, I'm in my early 20s still. Like, what is this fucking world going to look like in the next decade when I start bringing children into this world?
I hear you, Chad. I hear you. It's going to be what you make it. What you and your friends make it. And I know you guys, you're young, you're aggressive, you're strong. I know that you're a paramedic, or, in that field, you have life skill sets that are valuable. Keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate the fact that you went down to Washington, and I don't think that your mission ends there. I just ask you to continue to just tap into your, the strength of being young, and do everything you can to bring people into agreement and share ideas and make plans for what is necessary and needed for the future.
Frank, that is an awesome insight. By the way, can you guys still see and hear me? Because my stream is frozen and it just kicked me out before.
No, you can't hear you. I brought you back in, Chad. Yeah.
You resuscitated.
And I told Lloyd, I said, Lloyd's trying to get on. Lloyd has to turn on his camera and mic. That's I sent him a text. So, but Michael Bunker, you're awfully quiet, man. You're contemplating. I want to hear your thoughts, man.
Well,
your mind is working. I can tell.
I agree with Frank a lot. That's what my show was about today. Was about stop having our minds up there and more about producing, being able to prepare. We talked about communications. We talked about all that stuff. And that's kind of what my whole mission is teaching people that they need to think independently and they need to be able to build. And we have way too much attention on politicians and all that crap when we could be creating these alternative systems, that's the thing. It should be the thing, and we got this other stuff going on, and it's very distracting of a lot of people. A lot of energy is being expended trying to fix something that's so irreparably broken that there needs to be an alternative. And the alternative has to start with us. It has to start locally, individually, and we should have been already doing it. Of course, I've been doing it for 20 years and teaching people how to do it, but the reason I'm so quiet is because I'm fascinated. I agree with a lot that's being said, and a lot of times you just need to listen. And I hope a lot of people. The time to act is past, but it's also right now. And a lot of it involves stabilizing yourself, your family, your neighbors, loving your neighbor, and building that type of mindset now, rather than if we sit around like you said till March, or we sit around until June, somebody else is going to go fix it. I think we're not supposed to be in that place right now, and so I agree with Frank, and he's saying what I'm thinking. I might as well shut up and let him say it.
One thing I always like Frank says is that we need a sense of community.
Right.
And I don't think we have that anymore. Maybe Michael Bunker, maybe where you live, where your neighbors, well, how far are your closest neighbors?
Oh, we have a couple that are fairly close, but we live, I'm 2.5 hours from everywhere.
Okay, but still, I'll bet you that your sense of community being out there is different than the sense of community that somebody's in, a fairly suburb place like I'm in. So sense of community, I think, is more, you're more dependent. I don't even like saying that word, dependent.
Right.
You're, what's the word I'm looking for? You're more appreciative.
Right.
Of your community than you are when there's so many people around you.
Yeah, people you don't know, and people have different moral values and all those type of things. Makes it a lot more difficult. Out here, like I said, we're a long ways from anywhere, but we do have neighbors that are like-minded, and a lot of our what we've done over the last 15 years was basically creating. I don't want to say it's an alternative system. It's just a support system, so that we learn how to grow, learn how to plant, learn how to raise your children with the right mindset, and being more independent and less dependent. And so that the skills, the tools, and all that kind of stuff. It is a lot easier when you live the lifestyle we live, but it's not impossible anywhere else. I talk to people on our show all over the country, all over the world, and I always say that the only really inalienable right you have is the right to say no, and there needs to be a lot more saying no. And there are consequences to saying no, but those consequences snowball into bigger things like independence and a republic and those type of things. So, like Frank was saying, especially with communications, that stuff has to be done. There's a lot of intelligent people out there that needs to be being done now. And I appreciate everything Chad said. I'm glad he was there. I'm glad he could report that. I'm not going to go to Washington, D.C. because I don't care about Washington, D.C. I don't care about what they're doing up there. We need to have the ability, and to say no takes a little bit of And so building that is what I'm all about.
Right on.
Yeah. Well, and I
I
just
just
want
got you a follow on Instagram, by the way, Michael.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome.
I'll
you guys
follow
could
back.
definitely add me on Instagram as well, man. Definitely would love to keep in contact with you guys. I know I have Frank and obviously Tony's numbers, but definitely shoot me a follow on Instagram.
What is it, Chad?
It's C Denny DENNI 25. You should be able to see me on Tony's page. All right, you got it? Yeah, I was going to say you should be able to see it on Tony's followers.
Yeah, brother.
How's it going, guys?
Lloyd making an appearance.
I want to welcome Lloyd. He is another one of my brothers here, man. Just so you guys know, me, Chad, and Lloyd have had some good nights here playing guitar and drinking a whole bottle of vodka one night. And, yeah. Lloyd is an incredible guitarist, just will blow your mind. I would play him a song one time, and he would just absolutely rip it. Just incredible guitarist, very, very talented. So
I remember Lloyd in 21 Con.
Thanks, Tony. Hey, what's up, Frank?
What's up, fam? How you doing, bro?
Pretty good. Over here in New York City, lockdown city, as they call it.
Bushwick, right?
Huh?
You out in Bushwick, right?
Brooklyn.
In Bushwick, though.
Yeah. Williamsburg, actually.
And just so you know, you can find Lloyd on Instagram as Lockdown Lloyd.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna check you out.
It's true.
But yeah, guys, Lloyd was actually one of 4 other guys that was with me at the DC rally, and he also went to the rally, the second rally that happened last month with me as well. So he was there on the front lines as well, right on Capitol Building.
We know it. We know it.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Got to finally experience tear gas for the first time, which is
you know what, Lloyd? I'm going to mute myself and run to the bathroom real quick, but I want you to go ahead and give your take on just your experience on what happened when you went to DC this past week.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah, I would say, of course, I went there. Well, it was my second time going. Of course, on January 6th. So I kind of had an idea of what to expect going there the second time. However, actually, I was a little bit surprised because there was much more people there than there was the first time. And so it definitely feels like you're almost at a concert in a way, to some degree. But in the back of your mind, that you're there for a reason, which is that you're there to support your country and what you believe in, your rights and the right to a free election. So, and obviously in that specific area, especially with the Capitol building and also the Washington Monument, there's significance for each of those specific places. And it just felt like every time you walk around the area, you feel much more like you're part of something that's a little bit bigger than you to some degree, And one thing that always kept going through my mind was that I'm going to be in the history books from now on. Like our children, when they're like 35 years old, are going to be reading about me and the fucking monument, just getting after it. So it's kind of a funny thought, but, it just makes you realize that, you're here living on this planet, and at that specific time, day, you are definitely making an impact to some degree. So really, really powerful experience. I definitely enjoyed it, 100%.
We appreciate that you went there, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of videos and photos, and it's great. Obviously, I can't post them on social media. It's very risky to do that because I have some coworkers on my social media platforms, and if they were to, see me, they might give me some bullshit at work, you know. And
What do you think is next, Lloyd? What do you think happens next? What do you think happens next?
In terms of what?
The country, the news cycle, yeah, politically, like, what are we going to be talking about a week from now, or better yet, a month from now?
Right. Yeah. Okay. So obviously, I'm pretty sure everyone's situation is right now. One thing I would say is that a lot of people realize that the president himself hasn't really used any of his presidential powers, so to speak. And one of them is called the Insurrection Act, which is the ability for the president to make sure that all forms of Congress are doing their job effectively to keep the democracy. And he hasn't done that yet. He waited, obviously, January 6th just passed. And so now everyone around the world, to some degree or another, sees what's really going on and how things are being done in terms of the government. And I believe now what's going to happen in the next few days or weeks is that's when Trump is really going to act and use his presidential powers to make sure that he sets the bar and keeps things, going the way it should be going, But as a result of that, obviously there's going to be a lot of maybe I would say a lot of potential riots that could happen. And that's to be expected, obviously, because the narrative that's being pushed on President Trump is that, he's XYZ, it's every single name in the book, basically. So there's going to be a reaction, and he does know that. And so did the Congress. I think it was Mitch McConnell who said that if they were to overturn the current state of the president-elect to Trump, how like the world would basically almost become like, just a fucking civil war, essentially. So I still do believe that something big is coming pretty soon. I'm not sure exactly what, but I do know it has to deal with the president finally using his power, his actual presidential power in the form of the Insurrection Act. That's what I believe is going to happen.
So you're confident he will remain president at the end of this next month or so?
I believe there's a possibility. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting time, because I would say this. One thing I'll point out is that weeks prior, you would see videos of Trump playing golf and appointing new attorney generals and people in Congress. Then the question you have to ask yourself is like, if you're president and you know that you've lost the election and you're out in a few weeks, why would you appoint new attorney generals in government and set new plans forward, write new bills and whatnot, and also just be playing golf casually, if you know that you're going to be on your way out? No one would normally do that. They would just be like, all right, well, that's it. I lost. And don't really take anything from there, concede even. And yeah, so I believe he knows something that a lot of people don't know. And he's going to be ready to act on it pretty soon. Just got to find out what it is,
Do you fellas think there's a way he can take this capital thing and use it to his advantage? Is it part of the plan per se?
So repeat that question one more time.
Can Trump take this capital situation and turn it into his favor, or is it part of the plan as well?
Yeah, I would say, well, obviously, mainstream media is definitely bastardizing exactly what happened. They're saying that people who are at the Capitol building are like terrorists and everything. And then
let me interrupt you real quick. That bothers me more than anything. When they say domestic terrorists, I think the domestic terrorists there, of course, was Antifa and anybody else that was. But I don't think a patriot is a domestic terrorist, and that bothered me more than anything.
Do you guys know that they're trying to present a 20,000-page bill about domestic terrorism? I just heard this today. Like, they were like, oh, yeah, because of what happened at the Capitol, we have a 20,000-page bill that we want to present for homegrown terrorists. Like, come on, man. This is part of their narrative. They've been planning this shit for a while. Crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing they could put that together so fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is interesting. And Tony, I would agree with your point, man. It fucking bothers me hard. And I did post that I was at rally, and I had a lot of people like supporting it. I also had a lot of hate messages, as well as a lot of people unfollowing me and shit. And then on top of that, I actually received a message from an employer asking me, or basically stating he found out I was at rally, and how long did I stay? And I said it was just the day, and he was like, all right, that's fine. But it's definitely, I think, a bigger deal because than it would have been if I posted the previous rallies, which I did, because of the media narrative and everybody being like, oh, they're domestic terrorists, the patriots and shit. And so, of course, I have followers seeing this and this new narrative, plus employers are probably like, what the fuck is going on and whatnot. So
who is still believing that stuff in this day and age that we live in? Who's believing the news right now? That's what blows my mind.
Everybody, man. Everybody is. It's crazy. Nobody.
I guess you're right. I just don't see how.
You know what, Chad? You said it. We are the Patriots, dude. We are the Patriots, and we need to wear it proudly, and we need to be unapologetic about it. We need to call more people to our movement. When I think of Patriots, I think of Paul Revere. You know, I think of our forefathers of this nation, and I'm proud to say that they were Patriots. And as long as we can hold to that same integrity and we can promote those same values of freedom, then we can proudly say that we're Patriots also.
Mm-hmm. I would agree, Frank. That's a great point. But, yeah, I mean, Lloyd could definitely attest to it. He lives in New York City, which is the most liberal city in the whole country. And everywhere you go in that fucking city, man, I just visited him 2 weekends ago. And, like, everywhere you go, it's BLM everywhere. The sidewalks are spray-painted BLM. Everywhere you go, like, it's everywhere, man. And everybody's following the mainstream media. Nobody's realizing the truth behind all this shit. Nobody's really believing in the steal for the most part, or so everybody thinks. But then yet thousands of patriots show up to this rally because they know the fucking truth, including us two that showed up and everybody else.
Yeah, this is I'd say it's definitely this time is it's going to be a grand awakening, and you can see it from an objective point of view. Is that you have people actually speaking up and getting the message out there of what's really going on, and what does the mainstream media do, or the the big tech companies? They start censoring everything. You literally have Trump's account. I think it's fully suspended now. And so, and actually, I knew that was going to happen because I listened to a podcast a few weeks prior, and it was saying how that big tech, Twitter specifically, is going to censor Trump very soon. It's only a matter of time when, and seeing it happen, in real life, literally like a few days ago, like 2 days ago or yesterday, whatever it was, is really interesting, And the reason is very simple. Is basically because if you can stop communication from one person to another person, you can control the whole entire narrative essentially. And they call it the Great Reset. It's a very scary thing. You'll believe if you grew up in America that you have free speech, and all these platforms like YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, they all promote and say, oh yeah, they're free speech, put whatever you want. But then the reality is they just take it all down. They control all that shit. So
I'm just surprised at how fast it's happening. Just what's happened over the past 48 hours. And now I think it was today they're talking about Parler. It's hosted on AWS on Amazon, and they're talking about shutting the servers off tomorrow at midnight, and they need to find an alternate provider. I would have no idea. I expected some of this stuff to start happening, but I just can't believe the speed at which it's happening.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse too. It's just the beginning, honestly. I know a few weeks back.
Hey,
You
hang on
actually,
1 second, Lloyd. Hold that thought. I know we lost Michael Bunker along the way. Maybe his power went out. Just so you guys know, Michael Bunker lives off the grid. He lives by battery power. Follow Michael Bunker, Bunker Nation. Great guy, Michael. If you're still listening, he came back on his phone last time. Maybe he'll come back on his phone. But Michael Bunker also has a movie going in Hollywood right now. He's an author of 12 books. We had him on before. He's, again, off the grid. He has a movie that they picked up that's going to Hollywood. But I want to thank him for coming on.
Yeah, Mike, the man, dude.
Yeah.
Can you share his channel again, Tony? Michael Bunkers?
Yeah, it's Bunker Nation.
Okay, I'm writing that down so I can give him a follow.
Yeah, great guy. Glad he was here, man. He was engrossed in the conversation, which was awesome. But, you know, I appreciate him coming on, Michael. Thank you, appreciate it, man. That's awesome. He was on here last time, which was awesome, with Jack Donovan and Michael Bunker, and they would know each other. So we got two authors on live, and that was you guys. I know Gonzo and Man remembers that. Anybody wants to go back, I have it marked with Michael Bunker and Jack Donovan. So it was a great podcast. So, and John Boston, you are welcome to come on. So,
yeah, that was quick. I just got an alert on my phone. Fox News San Diego says that Amazon says it will kick right-wing app Parler off its web hosting service on Sunday. Let's find out if Parler will go offline once the order takes effect tomorrow. So, here we are.
I want to say hi to somebody here real quick. Earl's daughter. Y'all remember Earl's daughter from Thursday night? Yeah. How you doing? I'm glad you're here. Appreciate your comment in my community today too. So she was it was awesome. She is a mother of 6, if I'm correct. Isn't that right, Gonzo? And man,
something like that, yeah.
And she was apologizing on the last stream because she was baking, and we all smiled. I thought that was awesome. But Earl's daughter, we appreciate you. Appreciate you coming out here for sure. 6.
great.
That's it.
There it is.
Wow. Any of you guys?
This is fantastic. Hello, men.
Hello,
you guys.
I appreciate your comment on one of the videos the other day. I appreciate that, Earl's daughter. Thank you.
But Lloyd, you were right in the middle of a great rant. I want you to continue. And the reason I say this is because I remember one night, it was at 21, and we had an issue. I think it was the last night or the night before. I think it was the last night. But Lloyd, he was cut off for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know who cut him off. But Lloyd and Chad have incredible insight. These guys are young guys. They're like Gonzo's age, but they're, I consider like Lloyd, Chad, and Gonzo just incredibly intelligent, just intelligent young men, just incredible, and their minds are open. It's like you took a scalpel and like, you know what, I'm going to see the world for what it is, and that's what I love about these guys, And right so Lloyd and Chad are all in the same age group. So, and we're lucky to have them in here tonight. And again, these guys are great friends of mine. I'm enthusiastic, as you can tell, about having him here on the stream. So, but Lloyd, you were in a great rant. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to thank Michael Bunker. So
yeah, definitely. I appreciate it, Tony. Much respect and love.
Tony, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I was about to rant about YouTube going down for a moment. Actually, I think it was happened last month, where just the whole entire server went down. I thought it was my internet, but I checked on different Wi-Fi networks and cell phone service, and it was all down. And this is just going back to you know, the media blackout where a lot of social media companies are just they're going to go down, you know, and just to censor people's opinion and to keep message from spreading. But overall, you know, I believe that at the end, good always wins. Good always beats evil, and so they can suppress all they fucking want. But the reality is, people are gonna find out, and once that happens, a lot of crazy shit's gonna happen. You know, a lot of things
I
are
mean,
gonna change.
you know, we always talk about being in a war, but we are in a spiritual war. And I know Frank will agree with that. We are in a spiritual war.
Mhm.
You know, I never claim to be perfect. I know people have different opinions on, you know, you living a perfect life, but I'm living the perfect life that's for me. I think that I'm living a solid man's life. Just like all my social media says, living a solid man's life. No one will take space in my head. I will nothing you. My feed is satire and reality. Figure it out for yourself. That's the way I like to present myself. So let me bring Chad back in here.
It's great.
So I think that you know, again, we've got these young guys in here, and I think their perspective is very important. Gonzo always has great commentary on anything that we talk about. I feel very appreciative of him being a long part of this stream from the beginning. So same thing with Man. I mean, these two guys, you know, have been with me from the beginning. Frank, he's been here a while now, much appreciated. I know Drew is becoming a regular. You know, I'm pulling in the cream of the crop, and I'm really happy about that. But I want to talk to somebody who's been quiet for a while, and that's Drew. So, kind of give me your take on what these two young guys have been saying.
Well, like you said, you guys are pretty impressive. You know, it makes you look back when, you know, I can look back, I guess, 20 years ago when I would have been your age, and you think about maybe things you missed out on, or I guess maybe this wasn't going on then exactly, but you know, you definitely you got me thinking, Lloyd, like you mentioned, you'll look back years from now when you have kids and say, hey, I was there. I think that's pretty admirable. And Chad definitely going there. I think it's brave. I don't know if I would have, you know, I mentioned too, Frank, you mentioned like 1776, and part of me is saying like, well, yeah, we have the benefit of hindsight though. Is this really that? You know, is it that? You know, and that's where I struggle with a little bit. So I kind of tend more to say, okay, kind of pull back, focus on my family, my little homestead, and, you know, focus on what I can do here. And, you know, maybe that's not the right way to go about it, but, you know, I don't know how much change I can affect. And I kind of waiting, I guess, a little bit to see what really happens. Are we really in that or not? Should we be as worried as we are? I guess with some of the things going on, it's hard not to see it, but man, I applaud both of you guys, and you know, for sure, for going there and taking part in it. I think it's pretty impressive.
I like to say these young guys like Gonzo, Lloyd, and Chad, those guys are miles ahead of other guys their age.
Yeah,
miles ahead, and to get sort of inspired by older guys with good values, it's y'all will be forever. This will be ingrained in your heart forever.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the impact these three guys are going to make in the future?
Yeah.
I hope you don't have to make as big an impact as we may need you to make. I would say that. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
These, you know, I consider, we had talked, I know me, Lloyd, and Chad had talked about a tribe, and we are forming a tribe here. I mean, me, Lloyd, Chad, we already were in a tribe, but now I consider everybody else on this panel right now part of that tribe. And when I say a tribe, what do you do when you're in a tribe? You protect that tribe.
Yeah.
I think that's very, very important, because I think that sense of that's a sense of community also, is being in a tribe, being part of something. And it's not just being part of something, it's being part of something that's positive. And the fact that we're in a tribe that pushes men to exceed what they think they can do.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this, Drew. You mentioned if 1776, is it that? Well, let me ask you a couple of questions about where we're at compared to where the colonists were at. Has our ability to practice our religion been scrutinized?
Oh, without a doubt.
Has the threat of, so I'm sorry?
No, I agree. Yeah, no, I would say yes.
So what caused the Puritans to break away from England was freedom of religion. So we could say that religion has become an issue. We can also say that our rights to keep and bear arms is now under threat. That's another fundamental aspect of our Constitution, right, that we need to take seriously. We're talking about vaccines, forced vaccines perhaps. And a lot of people believe that those vaccines are going to bring about negative health effects to us and to our children. We're talking about censorship, meaning that our First Amendment right is now being questioned. Not even being questioned, it's being violated. It's straight up being violated. We have the fact that our government, our representatives, are acting as rulers rather than representatives. So they're acting outside of the scope of actually what they're allowed to do, from a legal and lawful way. And I mean, we can just really kind of go through the list. I mean, they're destroying our currency. I mean, a lot is happening. So from a perspective of 1776, I think we have been more tolerant than our forefathers would have been. I mean, the Boston Tea Party was like, it was the result of a 3% tax that was levied on tea. 3%. Most of us pay like 35 to 50% of our wages to the gov, bro.
Yeah.
So I would contend that, the environment is ripe for that. And I think if George Washington is here today on this panel, he might offer some perspective that was even a little bit more radical than what we might be saying right now.
Those guys weren't taught to be good little boys and girls like we're being taught now.
Yeah.
That's why they were tolerant. Because we're taught to be good little boys and girls.
And they had really high tea levels, I think, because there was no soy. So
Right.
There were no soy boys.
None. So I would say, we have to be wise in how we go forth. But I think that we have more than enough, that has already occurred to give us, what we need to be having this conversation.
Yeah. No, good point for sure. Yeah.
Well, I just want to do a throwback to what we were. Well, actually, I guess there'll be two kinds of throwback, but I want to do a throwback to what we were talking about just a second ago about community and that sort of thing and communication. I kind of want to do a series called I Wish It Was Science Fiction, because I think it would just be very appropriate for right now. But do you guys remember the Twilight Zone episode called The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street?
Mm-hmm.
I love the Twilight Zone. I'm about to pull it up.
That was an original Twilight Zone?
That was the original, yes. Rod Serling, I believe Rod Serling wrote that one. And just for anybody who hasn't seen it or who doesn't quite remember, it's basically, it's about your idyllic suburban neighborhood. And, everything is just normal. And one day the power goes out for everybody. And nobody knows why. And so the community sort of converges and everybody's talking and trying to figure out what's going on. And they're like, yeah, all our power's out. Everything is just gone. Like, what are we going to do? And quickly, what ends up happening, at first it just seems like a normal outage. Everybody assumes that, in a few hours, everything's going to be back to normal. Well, nighttime ends up falling. And the long and short of it is they start to basically build these conspiracy theories against each other. They start to think, oh, because they see Rob's house, his lights on. It's like, oh, maybe he's in on it. Maybe he's trying to pull something on us. And they end up turning, by the end of all of this conspiracy and all of this this darkness and their minds wandering off, it basically turns into a Lord of the Flies situation where they're all just killing each other and they're all at each other with rocks and stuff. And of course, the plot twist, spoiler alert, but it's aliens and they're all flipping the switches and turning the lights off to see how people will respond. And they just observed how quickly everything spiraled out of control.
I didn't remember the title, but I remember the episode now. That's one of my favorites. That is a good one.
Well, and you were just saying, Drew, like how quickly all of this is like spiraling. And that's just what it made me think of. Like this whole parlor thing. I mean, it's not quite on the level of that story, but it's still shutting down communication. Still shutting down conversation.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing here is kind of, I kind of see it as a counter to that. This is what we have to do to be able to move past everything that's going on. All the Lord of the Flies chaos nonsense, Old Testament stuff.
Did you guys see what Lindsey Graham did? How he backed
I saw he got swarmed at the airport.
Yeah.
Did you see what he said though on Twitter about the the Section 230 or whatever it's called?
No.
To where he wants to repeal that whatever it is about social media, so lawsuits can be placed upon the big tech. But Lindsey Graham is a rhino.
He's a rhino.
Times 100.
Yeah.
He is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I do not appreciate him at all.
He bends wherever the wind is blowing at the time.
He's bent so he can live in his he wants his stock tips, he wants his big money, and he is a politician. He walks, talks, if it walks and talks like a duck, guess what it is? It's a fucking duck.
What do y'all think when y'all look at Mitch McConnell?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
That was Trump's attorney, correct?
Mitch McConnell?
No.
Speaker of the House.
Speaker, yeah. It looks like a turtle.
Wait, but wasn't he part of
Leader of the Senate?
Correct. Was he part of Trump's legal team, if I'm correct?
No.
Huh?
Leader of the
Oh,
Senate.
he's the old turtle-looking guy.
No, I know who he is. Don't get me wrong, guys, but wasn't he part of Trump's legal team? Gonzo, can you fact check that?
No, nothing to do with that.
Wait, now who was this that was
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
He's been a senator for a long time.
No, guys, I know who he is, but I thought he was part of Trump's legal team.
No.
That guy's the ultimate beta male.
Hang on, let me mute Anthony.
I'm looking it up here.
I am God on this channel, just so you guys know.
I'm telling you the truth, guys.
I understand that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Somebody had a great picture of McConnell. They photoshopped him on a sea turtle, and it shows him swimming away saying, Mitch McConnell looks longingly at the shore one more time before finally returning to the ocean.
I don't think Mitch McConnell is part of Trump's legal team. I could be wrong, but on...
Maybe I'm thinking of Bill Barr. Is that who I'm thinking of?
Bill Barr?
I think that sounds more accurate.
Attorney General. Or was.
Definitely not Mitch McConnell, though.
Why do I always get beat up? I tell things and I get beat up. I don't understand.
Anthony, why are you not in the jungle tonight with the ladder?
Because I'm inside. Because my wife's not watching TV. That's why. I'm just inside my house. I will go out there if you want me to.
Wait till after dark.
Well, we do kind of miss the ladder. Just so Chad and Lloyd know, Anthony usually has a ladder behind him.
They still beat me up. They treat me like I'm a dumbass. But I don't give a shit.
I want you guys to, I'm going to put Anthony on solo layout. Anthony from occupied California.
Yeah. I'm ugly, man. Don't put me on.
I love that.
Come on, Anthony, you're on solo cam, man. Hit us with some insight, man. We don't even know you. What's up with Anthony?
Yeah.
What's up in Anthony's world?
Yeah.
Let me pause you 1 second because I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm trying to get somebody on that was in the Capitol building. So we'll see if he comes on. I'm not going to say a name, but I've been trying desperately to get him on. So we'll see what happens. So we can get a little insight. But yeah, Chad, you got some questions for somebody who's in occupied territory?
What do you mean by occupied?
Well, Anthony, occupied California.
Oh yeah, Anthony. What do you mean by occupied Cali?
We're not free. We can't walk around like free people here. Where are you from?
PA. You're from CA. I'm from PA.
You're locked down too. I guess
Yeah.
you don't know it though.
No, we're definitely locked down, man. We just got locked down by Governor Wolf. We just reopened this last week, but he ended up shutting everything down for 3 weeks again. And a lot of small businesses finally grew some cojones and decided to say, fuck you, Wolf. We can't close again. And stayed open throughout the 3 week lockdown, which was great. But my gym I go to is a chain and decided to be bitches and close. So I got a new gym membership somewhere else and supported them instead during that period.
Okay, so let me tell you what. So once the new administration comes in, they're going to have to do a lockdown.
What do you mean?
Know that, right? You know that, right? Okay. So what I mean is there's going to be like a 2 or 4 week lockdown once the Biden potato comes in, and that's got to happen, you know. And then all of a sudden everything's going to be fine, but that's going to have to happen.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And actually, interestingly enough, I haven't even hit Tony with this yet, but recently, this past week, come on, Chad, Governor Wolf. Yeah, Governor Wolf is such a dickhead, man. But yeah, I already expected that because obviously Biden has shown he's pro-lockdown and shit. So has Wolf. But interestingly enough, I haven't even told Tony yet, but well, the other guys don't even know except Frank, and he's muted, but I work as a paramedic. That's my profession. And I actually transferred my paramedic certification to Florida.
Fantastic.
And by the beginning of February, myself, Lloyd Rivera, who's on the stream, and another friend, Max, may be at the end of next month getting a place in Florida for rent. Because New York City, where Lloyd lives, is locked down, and then our other friend, Max, who's actually in this house right now and went to the rally with us, all of us are pretty much in PA or New York, which is bullshit lockdown right now. And myself and Lloyd have been to Florida several times throughout the lockdown. And Max even lived there for a few months in St. Pete. And they don't give a fuck about lockdown down there. You're very lucky for that, Tony. Everywhere we went, like sometimes we'll walk around in the grocery store without mask, and everyone will sometimes give you dirty.
I don't want you to say where I'm living, but I would tell you that you guys will get the best bang for your buck in my county as far as rent, as far as location, as far as everything. You will get the most bang for your buck pretty much in most of Florida here. So I would
That's
come
awesome.
to this area, this county out. It would be something that I think you guys would enjoy. You know, I don't think you want to live in the big city. So
Yeah.
But
Just weighing options right now.
there is a gym in the big city it's actually free and they can't shut you down. And I'm gonna tell you, just because you guys are my friends, I'm gonna tell you about it right now. It's called Gravity.
That's in California?
Yeah, Gravity's in California. So you can do push-ups and pull-ups and squats and all that shit. And Gravity is still a law in California. You can still do physical fucking push-ups. I do like 100 every 3 days, and pull-ups. You can do that shit too. Gravity still works in California. So
Gravity
I don't know. I don't know if Gravity works where you are, but for some reason they can't shut that shit down. The government
That's true,
cannot
man.
shut
But
down
what you
fucking
can't
Gravity.
get from gravity
Yeah.
that I'm very big into is powerlifting, which
Mhm.
requires
Gotta
heavy
have
weights.
You gotta have gravity. If you're gonna power lift, you gotta have fucking gravity, though. You know that, right? Gotta have fucking gravity. So they're trying to shut that shit down, but I don't think you're gonna be able to do it.
They are. That's one thing they actually can't shut down.
Yeah, they can't shut fucking gravity. By the way, I'm selling. I'm sorry, Tony. I'm selling my special masks this month for half price. Would you guys like to see it?
yes, we would actually.
What do you think, guys? Half price, guys. Half price.
I would like to buy one right now.
$25 a mask. That's all I ask.
I want to bring up a quote by someone, okay, and then I want kind of everybody's perspective. We went over this on Thursday night. Now, they called what happened in D.C. a riot. Now, I'm not going to mention the name of the famous person who said this quote, and I think we'll start with Chad or Lloyd. Let's start with Lloyd. But this quote, you might know who said it, or you might not. But the quote is, "A riot is the language of the unheard." And there's a reason why I'm saying this, is because this quote was repeated to nauseum over the riots in the summer. But you will not hear those same people and those same talking heads repeating this quote from January 6th. A riot is the language of the unheard. So now I'm going to give you any guess on who said that.
It sounds okay. Oh yeah, I get some first, right? It's probably, I don't know. Honestly, it sounds like something maybe Obama would probably say, Obama, or maybe I don't know, some BLM organizer or something like that. But one of those two, I don't know.
It was Martin Luther King. And
Right.
that's why it's quoted so much. So to me, it's kind of the, trying to think of the saying, it's good for me, but not for thee. That's kind of, so Martin Luther King Jr. So that quote was repeated and repeated on all sorts of social media and all the major news stations, but not one of them is saying it now.
Yeah, unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. It is.
Yeah, I agree, man. 100%. There was somebody in the chat that mentioned something like that. John Boston, I don't know if he's still here, but he said something that for some reason when you mentioned that quote, it came into my mind. I'm looking through the comments right now. Lloyd, if you want to jump in, I'm scrolling through the comments real quick. I definitely had a point to make.
Yeah.
So a riot is the language of the unheard. Let me tell you what bothers me about that. I think what dumbs down that quote is the word riot. Because I did not see a riot in DC.
No, I agree. Me and Lloyd being on the front lines, it was not a riot at all.
There was definitely like year zero riot, honestly. Like throughout the whole entire event, just being there on the 6th, I didn't see firsthand people like just rioting, breaking shit, or just destroying property at all. They say that it happened at the entrance of the Capitol building. I didn't personally see it. But even then, there's maybe like a handful of people, and there's this thing going around where they say people from BLM and Antifa disguised as Trump supporters that initiated that, which is fucking insane. But out of the hundreds of thousands of people, very peaceful, very, very peaceful, and it's a crazy double standard because you have a few months back, you have people burning police cars and breaking stuff, destroying property, everything. And
those were mostly peaceful protests.
Yeah, mostly peaceful protests. And then you just have patriots, just go up to the Capitol building and just chant "Stop the Steal," and then we're fucking terrorists. It's ridiculous. Insane double standard.
Dude, I'm glad you said double standard because there's one guy who said, if you look, I want you guys to look at Cernovich's, one of his tweets today, and he talks about people that say the word double standard. And I'm going to disagree with this guy. First of all, I think he is protecting his platform. I've liked Cernovich a lot. I really did. But I think he bends with the wind. And he can disagree or not disagree with me. He can say he's super educated. He can say whatever the fuck he wants. But I think Cernovich, this is what happens with guys like fucking Cernovich. And I've had a lot of respect for the guy, and I still respect him. But this is what happens. This is what happens with somebody like Cernovich. They put out all these tweets, okay? And Cernovich is very polarizing, and he'll put stuff that I know is legitimately out there to troll people. But what happens is you put out all these tweets, and then you look for that one tweet you said 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and then you say, "Oh, remember this? I said this back then." And I hate that fucking attitude.
He did say Biden was going to win. I will say that. I agree with you, Tony, about Cernovich 100%. But I do remember about a year ago, he was like, "Get ready to say President Biden." So don't let him fool you. He did say that. He was very, very clear about that.
It wasn't that. But what happens is when a guy tweets 50,000 tweets a day, what happens is they can pick out and pick their own fucking narrative to save their ass, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
You'll be right. Yeah, you'll be right some of the time.
They can pick the narrative in the tweet that fits the narrative for now to save their platform.
Very true.
Yeah. But that's my opinion. I mean, I've liked Cernovich, and I know if people have to understand when you watch his tweets, he'll say a lot of things that just trolls people. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. I'm the guy that scrolls past people. I don't argue with people online, but somebody like him tries to draw people in to kind of stir the pot, make a shitstorm. So
that's a good point. Well, I'll tell you what, fellas, I'm personally going to call it a night. I want to say that it's been great to be with you and to see you, Lloyd, and see you, Chad. And, of course, to meet you, Drew, and, of course, our regulars, Gonzo and Tony. And I'm going to look forward to next weekend with some brand new news, man.
Yeah, I'm excited, Frank. Of course, you know that your insight and your intellect and your, I don't even want to call them opinions, but just your thought process is so welcome here. It's such a great addition to this stream on Saturday nights, man. And I'm so glad you're here with this group of guys on Saturday nights. It's a great addition, you know. So
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, Tony.
Yeah,
It's an honor to be with you.
Your platforms real quick before you head out.
Yeah, great, dude. You guys can check me out on Instagram, Frank_Pesci_, just as it appears on the screen. Also have a YouTube channel, Frank Pesci. That's something we're going to start putting a lot of effort into, me and my my team or whatever. Like I said, I built several beautiful and profitable companies, and we're really excited about 2021. You know, we're really teaching people how to get out of this system, to leave the dying system of the dollar and enter into cryptocurrency markets and enter into AI investing, and to be patriotic, and to be a family man, and to be just everything that you want to be and can be. We want to help you do that. So we promote all those values. Get at me. Feel free to reach out. Again, Instagram, YouTube. Just type my name in there and you will find me. It's an honor again to be with you folks, and I can't wait till next weekend. I think it's going to be great.
Awesome, Frank. We appreciate it.
Frank. Good to talk to you again, man.
You too, guys. I'll see you all soon.
Have a great night. All right. We love some Frank Pesci. We love us some Frank Pesci on this channel. So
Frank Pesci.
He's been a regular part for probably about, I'm going to say probably 4 episodes, Gonzo, at least.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 or 4 at least, I'm going to say.
Maybe even 5.
Yeah. So, but, and again, I'm happy to have, Drew's been becoming quite a regular, which is awesome. And he always has some great insight, but I'm really stoked to have Lloyd and Chad here tonight, man. This is a big deal for me, man, this is a bigger deal for me to have Lloyd and Chad on here than it is to have any of our special guests, just so you guys know. So their insight at their age is incredible. So I do want to thank them for coming on. That was means a lot to me that you guys are here. So, but yeah, let's get back to a riot is the language of the unheard. Anybody else want to jump in on that? How about you, Chad?
Yeah. First of all, thanks, Tony. That was great. Definitely glad to be here as well with all you guys on this beautiful Saturday night. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
But, as far as the quote, man, it was man, it just pisses me off, man. I still wish I remembered my train of thought with what that one guy that's watching said. But as Lloyd said, it was mostly just people there to support their country, and nobody was fucking rioting anything. Like, everybody was just there supporting their country, and I still don't know if it's 100% confirmed, but it seems to be 100% confirmed that, as Lloyd said, there was traitors in the midst, and a lot of these people, quote unquote, doing these acts were BLM or Antifa supporters in, like Trojan horse kind of deal. But what was I gonna say? I lost track of thought there. But it was definitely
a riot is the language of the unheard. Again, the word riot is the part that tends to bother me. I'm at the point right now where I'm afraid. I don't like the word. There's a reason why I don't like the word resist. Okay, hashtag resist was not a that was a left hashtag. Let's just put it that way. That was revolution is another one. I think these words have been bastardized. I think they have been played out. If we all could come up with a better word and a better hashtag that people would kind of resonate with versus these played phrases: resist, revolution, riot. Can you think of anything else? Anybody? Gonzo?
I may have to pull out the thesaurus on that one.
Yeah, I know. It's funny you say that because I was thinking that. You know, so what would be a good
thesaurus? What are we talking?
Yeah, off the
Resist?
top of my head right now, I can't think of anything. But as you alluded to before, Tony, it really fucking pisses me off that it's being called a terrorist attack for sure.
domestic terrorism?
Domestic terrorism is bullshit, man. It really is.
I would say May and June of this year of 2020 was a little bit more closer to domestic terrorism than what was experienced the other day.
Yeah.
100%. And I heard Frank and Lloyd both allude to it, and maybe even all of us on the stream already. And everybody in the world knows for months the burning of buildings and looting and all this shit. And then to call what happened on the 6th domestic terrorism is ridiculous.
Did you hear today? So CNN came out and says it's been confirmed that whoever the people were in the blaze orange hats were Proud Boys, trying to say, "Oh, it's confirmed that's who we are." And the Proud Boys are saying, "Hey, you know, we weren't there. You know, we didn't have a major presence there. There might have been civilians that were Proud Boys there, but completely trying to." I think they definitely have a big target on their back right now.
I have no problem with the Proud Boys at all, to be honest with you guys. None.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think they're being completely today with what came out. I think it's scary. I think it's crazy.
Mega force.
Yeah. I don't know what Lloyd saw at the last rally compared to me, but on the 6th, I didn't honestly see many Proud Boys compared to the second rally and even the first rally, where it seemed like there was a lot heavier Proud Boy presence at the second rally than this time around.
Yeah, my understanding was they were kind of told not to go to this one. They did not want to. This was viewed as a trap if they went.
Well, yeah, because then the narrative would have been flipped, and they would have also said, "Oh, far-right white supremacist Proud Boy groups took place in this domestic terrorism and all that shit as well." I'm sure that's what would have came out.
Mega force.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if that was used as a way to reinforce their narrative of the Patriots being "quote unquote" domestic terrorists. I think, and actually, I heard this one thing before even going to march on the 6th, was that to record as much as you can, because the media is going to take whatever little scraps and crumbs they can find and try to like frame it in a way where it just disempowers us as as people as Americans, basically. And I think there's definitely a lot of people who are doing that, who are recording. So there's ways where as long as we can share what we've recorded as truth and verification that the media is definitely lying and trying to push their specific narrative, then that's a great thing. But obviously, as you know, big tech is censoring every fucking person that just comes to speak up. So very hard. It's very, very hard.
So that's the thing. I think there's tons of content out there. Like you said, I saw tons of body cams, but then the next step is having, do you share that at the risk? What's the repercussions when you share it, whether that's with your employer or law enforcement, or I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a problem, because that's how you can really tell the degree of free speech you really have in this country, is when you can't even, as an American, go and share something with someone who you know personally, because you risk getting fired from your job, or you risk people judging you to the degree where they don't even treat you the same anymore. You can't even have two different points of views without one person extremely hating the other. Like I guess they call it agree to disagree. I think that's the term for it.
Oh, I hate that term. That's my most hated. I even have it on Instagram. I put it on Twitter. I absolutely despise that term. Agree, disagree. I prefer rather than agree to disagree. I prefer Ivan Throne when he says, when the talking stops, the shooting starts. That's what I prefer to agree to disagree.
What are you guys willing to give up to have your opinion in public?
That's a good question. Because as I said earlier, I did get contacted by my employer once they found out I was at Rally, and it actually took me by surprise. Because I had the same thought. I was like, fuck, am I really going to risk losing job over the Rally? And at some point I was just like, you know what? I'm on the front line and I'm going to post it, and I'm just going to deal with any repercussions that come from it. I expected the hate messages. I expected the unfollowers, whatever, but I definitely didn't expect the employer to hit me up. And it was interesting because it was right at the end of my shift, and like my main supervisor hit me up out of nowhere saying he saw that I was at Rally and then asked me a question about it or whatever. But to my knowledge so far, I didn't receive any repercussions from it. But there are a lot of people, I'm sure, that were at that Rally on the 6th that have been found to be at Rally and are taking repercussions for sure, and are probably fired by now.
So you said they asked, you told them you were there for a day, and it was like they were okay with that. It's like, what would the metric be, for them not to be okay with it, I wonder?
Well, the metric is that due to Pennsylvania COVID protocol, they want to make sure I was out of the state for less than 24 hours, because if you leave the state for more than 24 hours, they force you to do a mandatory quarantine or bring back a negative COVID test. So that's why I was grateful, because all they really cared about was the time I was there. They didn't really care about the fact that I was there. But it still struck me weird that they even hit me up about it, because I was at previous rallies with no comment from employer, which led me to believe like maybe they saw this narrative of domestic terrorism and was like, what the fuck, he was there, and then decided to hit me up this time and not the previous time. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people definitely lost jobs and whatnot over it. That's for sure.
You guys, check out couple of these comments. Let's start with Earl's daughter. Psychological warfare on a weak mind is easily broken. A principled mind is only stunned till logic kicks in. This separates the wheat from the chaff. Now, I like that. I think that's a great, I just think that's a great quote.
It is.
John Boston says, legally, we cannot define domestic terrorists as a binary event at the Capitol and ignore nationwide BLM, Antifa, and Seattle occupation. Well, the fucked up part is they are doing that, and that's what bothers me.
Yeah, legally, maybe they can't, but they can make it ugly enough for you, are you going to be able to stand up to them and weather the storm as well as they can, Well,
it depends what law enforcement's going to do about that.
I got to ask Gonzo. He looks like he's sketching. Are you sketching or researching?
I'm doing a sketch.
I'd like to see it. I think you need to share, just so you guys know, Gonzo's an incredible artist. And anybody watching this, he does commissions. So if you reach out to Gonzo at, is it Dimension Bucket?
Yeah, it's, you can reach it. Yeah, you can find it. Well, you can find me on Instagram at, I think it's Midnight
Author.
Midnight Author. Okay, yeah. Midnight.author, and you can find that. And you can find my email there. But yeah, it's dimensionbucket@gmail, and you can contact me there. I was actually...
Yeah, just so you guys know, I want to show, I think I might have showed this to Drew, but one of what Gonzo has done, he sketches, and we'll call it doodle. I guess they call it doodling or sketching while we're doing a live stream. So this is from one of our live streams. In fact, it was on my birthday, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but he sketched that out. We were talking about music. You can see the guitar. We were talking about the gout. You see the foot.
Yeah.
You have the hat Gonzo was wearing at that night. I'm trying to get this camera angle nice.
Oh, that's
Obviously,
cool.
the masks are there. You can see. My favorite is how the cow ate the cabbage, and so this is some of his work, man. So
That's awesome.
just so you guys
Great.
know, but I'm in fact. Why don't you tell them about? I have to use the men's room, but why don't you tell them about your artwork? Don't show until I get back.
Oh, what I've got?
What you're sketching.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not that far along with what I've got here. I was thinking about it the whole time. I'm actually here. I'll show something else real quick, but
Show and tell time.
Show and tell time. Yeah. I mean, lately I've been doing a little bit of charcoal, and I actually even more recently I've been getting into pen and ink stuff. So sometimes you'll see me pull this out, but this is a dip pen made out of
Nice.
it's glass. So this is a new one on me, but it's also very
Awesome,
sharp.
man.
So I guess it's also a good self-defense weapon. In the right situation, I've got some. This is some India ink here, and I don't know. Today, you know what? I did something. I'll nerd out a little bit. I'm not sure if you guys have read it or seen the films, but I hadn't read or seen either. But I read 30 Days of Night today. And it's pretty cool. It's a graphic novel, but I've been working on actually here. I'll see if I can show it in order. I've been doing a little bit of comic stuff here, and I'm not sure how visible that's going to be. It's kind of hard to get a good angle, but
Oh, cool.
yeah, I've been doing a little bit of
It's awesome, man.
that. So do a little bit of sketching, and that's
Sweet.
what.
It's cool, man.
Yeah. So show us what you got for tonight. I'm curious.
Yeah. So here, let me show you what I got here.
Gotta grab another drink, boys. Be right back.
Drink time. Yeah. So, like I said, just a few lines. I haven't done anything substantial yet, but we got.
Oh, nice.
If anybody wants to guess what that is, so.
I'm going to say that's the Capitol. And is that Trump?
No, I actually don't know. I actually don't know.
Two faces.
Two
Yeah,
faces.
I'm kind of saying it possibly is Mitch McConnell.
I don't know. Actually, for some reason, I right off the top, I don't know. I mean, this could be a lot of faces. I don't know who this is.
Could be a lot of people in Congress, right?
Kind of makes me think. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of John McCain a little bit.
Yeah.
Just vaguely, but you know, you got to.
If you draw a skinned potato, you'd have Biden.
Yeah, exactly. If he had a little more hair, maybe a little bit of a slimmer face, then we'd have Biden.
You could draw a little bubble off that says, "Come on, man."
Come on, man. Yeah. Does anyone see what this clown's saying? You know, are political cartoons kind of dead? I feel like those are kind of an old school thing.
Wow. You know, I grew up with those.
Mm-hmm.
I really did.
Comedy's dead.
Comedy's dead, yeah. Severe. It's a severe problem. Yeah. I like political cartoons, though. I remember when the swine flu thing happened. I remember a cartoonist drawing a picture of a pig dressed as the Grim Reaper. And, I mean, you think of these days in COVID times, like, I haven't seen anything like that. I don't think they put those in the newspaper anymore. Could be wrong.
I know we lost Man a while ago here, so let's just let me say goodbye to Man. I know we lost him probably 10-15 minutes ago at least, but anybody follow Man. That's Mantidote, like antidote on Instagram. That's Mantidote, MAN_Tidote. And his YouTube channel is Primal Man. So check out his YouTube channel for sure. That's Primal Man. So just wanted to give him a shout out. So. And
Tony, you got to get the full Hollywood Squares one night.
Yeah, anybody in the live chat, like John Boston, we are officially into Saturday night live stream after dark, just so you guys know. So this is when it can get a little bit crazy as far as me bringing on guests. So anybody that does want to join the live stream, you are welcome. Again, we are officially into Saturday night live stream after dark. I'm going to put the live stream in the chat. Somebody wants to join, you are welcome. Hit that live link. Grab your balls, jump on if you want.
Hey, so Tony, once I get divorced, I can be a fucking priest. Did you know that?
I'm not sure if they would describe it as a fucking priest, but
yeah. But
I thought that's
on
what
the
they
church.
do. No.
but as long as I don't get remarried, I can become a fucking priest, man. I'd be a badass motherfucker too. I'd be a motherfucker. You know that, right?
well,
I thought they
Earl's
were,
daughter
I thought
said
they were,
kids are
I
asleep.
thought they were
Bring
kid
it.
fuckers.
I'd be a hell lot more hardcore than fucking Paul would. At least I believe in Jesus, right? You know.
Let me
You
ask
know,
you a question. Would you tell people to look, just say your Hail
What?
fucking Marys? Would you say that?
Would I do what?
Say 10 Hail fucking Marys and call me in the morning.
Would I say your fucking 10 hell fucking marriage? Yeah, if they fucked up, yeah, I would. You go, look, no one's listening but me and God. But you know what? You fucked up, dude. Say your goddamn 10 hell marriage. You know what? Do some fucking push-ups, you son of a bitch. You know what I mean? You
Dude,
fucking pussy.
That's
Fucking
great.
pussy.
We got the
Fucking-
first priest that's going to tell you to do push-ups.
Fucking pussy. You know
You
what?
got-
You should.
You've
And
got
you know what?
10 Hail Marys. Wait, Anthony, you've got 10 Hail Marys. You've got
Yes.
100 push-ups and 100
Mhm.
pull-ups. And then get back with me.
Yeah. And do some fucking pull-ups, you fucking pussy. And if you don't do it, you're fucked. Because I got the rules. And if you don't do it, you're going to hell, you fucker. So you're fucked up.
I think you might have a small congregation.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them all. Go to hell. You know what? My congregation go to hell. I could just get paid for nothing, right?
You're right.
Fuck 'em.
You would make a
Fuck
great.
them all. You know what?
That offering box is going to be kind of empty.
You know what? Here's my fucking cross for you, you fucks. Right? Fuck you. And put a mask on, you little fucks.
Does that come with the tiny masks? Yeah.
Yeah. Or your fucking tiny mask, you fucks. Right? Yeah, fuck him, dude. I'll become a priest. Fuck it. If Paul can become a priest, I'll become a priest. Fuck it all. You know what? Yeah. And you guys want to come to my parish? I'm in California. Occupied California.
Fuck that. I'm not going to California.
Hey,
It's
if
gonna
that fucking potato comes to my parish, he's gonna get fucking crucified. Piece of shit. Piece of shit. Come on, dude. He's already dead anyways, but you know, fuck it. How long is seminary? I think it's 6 years, right?
Come on, man.
Yeah, you'd last about 6 hours.
Yeah, Biden will be dead in 6 years. I can't fucking crucify that fucker. But yeah, why not, dude? Would you guys come to my mass?
I mean, is
I
it
won't
the crucify? What's going to be the sermon for the crucify Biden mass? What's that going to be like?
No, fuck that guy. That guy's already fucking dead, dude. That guy's going to hell. That guy's fucked anyways. Fuck him. I'm talking about you guys. I'm trying to save your souls and mine. So if I'm gonna get divorced this year, become a priest, and I'm hardcore as a son of a bitch. So what are we gonna do? You guys gotta take if you're Catholic, you gotta take communion. Father Tony's
Yeah.
gonna bless you.
I'll go out
Tony,
to California and I'll be there.
Yeah. Bless you, son. Bless you.
Here's a good plug for you guys, by the way. I just tried this beer for the first time tonight. By friend recommendation. It's called Pilsner Urquell, brewed in the Czech Republic.
Awesome.
Oh,
Yes,
cool.
sir. Yes, sir.
Recommended from a friend who lived there for a couple of months, and it's pretty next level, man. Really nice light beer.
Awesome. Awesome. So you know, if you're Catholic, you can drink beer and wine. So that's a good thing. If you're one of those stupid ass religions, you can't do shit. The no fun religions, don't do that. Yeah, bad. Anyways, let's get back to the fun.
Oh.
What's the fun?
Don wanted to say it was good to meet Chad and Lloyd. Yep.
I think he said he was coming back for After Dark.
Maybe he is. Yeah, man, you got the link if you want to come back for After Dark. And again, anybody else that wants to join in, I'm going to put this is a live link, and I'm going to put it in there. So if you want to jump on, feel free to jump on. Anybody who's watching. Look at some comments here. I'm Catholic. Me and my dad would make 2 barrels of wine every year. And
oh my God. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
Man says he's right now, so. And I know he's got a good in-house cook, so I don't blame him right there. So.
Hey guys, so I'm actually gonna cut it short right now. I actually I have a friend over from Texas. He's leaving tomorrow afternoon, so I want to spend the rest of the night with him. But dude, this is a great podcast. So live stream you have it going on.
Well, I appreciate
really
appreciate you coming on for sure, Lloyd. This is this means a lot to me. You know, I love you guys, man, like brothers. So I appreciate your input. You're very intelligent. You got some great insight. You gave us some great insight on what happened in DC, and I think that's important, very important for guys to get a different perspective. For everybody to get a different perspective. You were there. You had boots on the ground. So, but again, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I would even add a point to that, and it was actually the very first time I ever went out and stood up for something, with the massive group of people. And one thing I would like to say is that you definitely you grow a lot when you do something like that, because it truly evolves your character, and the fact that you're able to step out onto the battlefield, metaphorically, and actually show that you actually have skin in the game, that you're able to, live exactly what you believe. And it takes some confidence to do that, And if you feel like you're a person who wants to train and learn to grow and become a man who goes for what he believes, and just has and is not apologetic about it, that's a great way to do it. It's a great way to do it. So
we appreciate you doing it.
Yeah, for sure. You had said, I believe you said, live what you believe. And that's a great quote, man. Living what you believe and being a part of it.
Definitely 100%. But all right, good night, guys. I definitely am pretty excited to catch next week's episode. I obviously it's kind of hard to make it on these live streams because I actually work every afternoon during the same time the show goes on. So usually when I come back home, I'm pretty tired and exhausted. But I know what to look forward to now. I'm excited excited to see you guys again, most likely next week.
It's good to see you, brother. Good to see you. I'm glad you were here. You were a great part of it for sure. Added a lot. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having me
Stand
on.
up, bro. Stand up, bro.
All right, Lloyd. Talk soon.
Have a good night, man.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Night,
brother.
night.
There you go.
All right. One soldier down. Let's look at a little comment here from Can you imagine explaining to aliens that the God we worship tells us to eat his flesh and drink his blood in some communion? Those aliens would leave skid marks and leave the earth in a heartbeat.
I love the character. I love the I love
Oh,
the,
yeah,
the
that's
language.
Yeah.
Fuck those pussies, man.
The avatar is John Voight from Run. You guys, have anybody seen the movie? Everybody seen the movie Runaway Train?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, what a great movie. It's also with oh geez, what's his name? Oh boy. Is it Eric Roberts? You guys who know who he is?
Oh. Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to think who played the prison guard. You guys would recognize this guy also from a lot of movies. So, but Runaway Train is a great, great old movie. Great movie with John Voight. Incredible.
So basically, Runaway Train is saying that we got a badass God, right? Basically, you're saying that. Right?
Yeah, he says Eric Roberts. Yes. Runaway Train. Yeah, he knows it.
Yeah. So
you could take that statement two ways.
I take it as we got a badass motherfucker.
Yeah, but you could take that statement two ways. I mean, I'm saying his statement. You could take it to where he's saying that he doesn't believe in God because it's so ridiculous, or he does believe in God. So you can take that either way.
Yeah, I took it as he meant that if aliens came here, they'd think we're fucking idiots for taking communion. That's the way I took it.
Yeah. I read it two different ways. I read it the way you said, Chad, and I read it as, okay, they would think we're nuts because we have that great faith. So.
Well, that's the Protestant faith. They think we're crazy too. Protestants think we're crazy.
Well, Earl's daughter says we would direct those aliens to a great church ran by Father Anthony. Problem solved.
It's funny, Earl's daughter. It's funny. I told you I'd go, Anthony. I'd be there.
What did you say? It was directed to me.
Yeah, here, you can read it.
We would direct those aliens to the great church ran by the Father. You know what? Father, Son, Holy Spirit, bless you, my patrons. Yeah.
I was going to ask you to go ahead and bless her. Good for you. You know what it was? I didn't even have to ask you to bless her. It was just in your soul and in your spirit to go ahead and bless her.
Yeah.
You're not gonna ever do push-ups too?
I could. You want to do push-ups? We can do push-ups right now. We can do pull-ups. I don't give a crap.
Push-ups and Hail Marys.
I just want to make attention to the ladder.
You know what? I tell you the one thing I'm embarrassed that I don't do is I do not pray the rosary because I find it very difficult to do that. But I should do it. But I do pray the Our Father every morning.
But why is it
every
necessary?
morning? Why is it necessary? I don't know why it's necessary, but I've committed to do it. I fucking do it. I do it every fucking morning. At 4 a.m, when I do pull-ups and I do push-ups. I don't know why that's necessary, but I do it.
But the difference is, I just muted him. He has a nice ladder if he ever needs to escape behind it. You guys do see the ladder.
It looks like his ladder got an upgrade.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Either we have a different angle or I'm not quite sure. But
It looked like more like a rope ladder previously.
well, you know what I think it is? I actually think it's a shadow. I think we got a different angle tonight. So, but he has an escape plan. So let's see what let's I'm gonna put on Runaway Train and see what he said.
Yo, guys, so my phone's about to die, and my charger is not going to support the live stream, so I'm going to have to cut it off.
Okay, Chad, good having you on. We're not gonna be on much longer, anyways. We're gonna start winding down, but I appreciate you coming on, brother. You know that.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Tony. Great meeting you guys. Definitely keep in touch. I'll drop my Instagram in the chat for you guys.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night, guys.
I appreciate you, brother.
Cheers.
All right. Earl's daughter has something for Anthony. And it says push-ups. How about a dozen cream-filled hazelnut muffins? Boy, does that sound good.
Okay, if you.
And she loves to bake. She loves to bake.
Yeah.
Okay.
She might be baking them right now.
She says, deal?
Yeah, sure. Sure. Give it to me. Yeah, I'll eat that, and I'll still do the push-ups.
Boy, she just made me hungry.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm always hungry for push-ups and pull-ups. That's what I'm hungry for. And if it's raining, even better. But it doesn't rain much here, so I don't get that benefit.
So,
but that ladder you see here, that goes to heaven. I haven't climbed it myself, but I know it goes there. So if you guys want to come back,
I want to get some final thoughts from everybody tonight.
Oh shit!
I'm going to give a final thought on. I'm going to tell everybody to stop analyzing what's going on right now. Don't try to figure it out. I think you're wasting your energy. You're pushing your energy to something that you won't know. The information that you're getting, doesn't matter where it comes from, I think is not correct, because we really don't know the information. What you've seen with your own eyes, I think is great, whether you've seen a news or a clip. But my advice to you is, next time you look at that clip from whether it be the Capitol or the rally that happened, especially the Capitol right now, because that seems to be what most people are focused on, turn the sound off. Turn the sound off, turn the talking head off, and you're going to get a different perspective. And that's my advice for the night. But don't overanalyze and don't analyze. Don't try to figure it out. I think that's the best advice that I can give from somebody who's been trying to analyze it since the 6th. So that's the advice I could give. How about Drew? Any good advice?
And I would say in kind of continuing that theme, focus on yourself. Do something for yourself. Learn something. Flip some stuff. Make some money. Do the best you can for you. And not to say stick your head in the sand, but keep an eye on it. But do what you can.
Dude, I was just going to say that. The words, that was exactly what I was thinking. That is, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'll let you go here in a second, but don't stick your head in the sand.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Be informed, but do what you can do, to make an impact right away. Doing, something for yourself, something in your community. Stay focused and do your part to, do good in that area, I think.
Gonzo?
Yeah, I think the best place to be. Well, definitely don't be where Anthony's at with the constant sirens. That's a bad place to be. Don't do that. But
well, at least he has a ladder. He needs
He does
to
have a
go.
ladder, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Always have your ladder set up and ready to go. That's where I would want to be. But I think the best place to be, and this is kind of just general life advice, but I'll apply it to this specific situation. You know, if you can sit down and you can watch the news and you can be bombarded with all this information and then get up and just say, okay, all right, and then go on and do your life and nothing changes, that is the best place to be. You don't want to be in a place where you sit down and watch the news or whatever it is and you feel that anger rising up. You know, that's pretty it's pretty rough. And you're just kind of at the whim of what other people say. And so I think it's just, you have to be cool and detached from it. And so that's kind of how I look at things. Just wait and see. You know, it's not the end of the world. I know there's a lot of doom and gloom. There's a lot of fear porn out there. But you know, at the end of the day, you just have to be prepared yourself. Because if you're prepared yourself, then that's all you can do. You really just have to focus on yourself and just be prepared.
And remember, your thoughts are not yours.
Yes, exactly. Just like the thoughts on the TV, or not the ideas on the TV are coming from someplace else. Your thoughts are coming from someplace else as well. So true. Yeah.
And then, Anthony, give us some good positive words, something that somebody can walk away from this stream tonight, and just give them something to grab onto.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking about this today. And it's, you know, it's thoughts for today, it's thoughts for your life. But it's, you know, when I die, and if it could be for today, whenever, but I want to look at people and I want to see their smiling faces. And to me, that's the most important thing. Your smiling face means more to me than any of this bullshit that's going on. Your smiling face is the most important thing. You know, because when you can smile, no matter what this situation, that means more to me than anything in the world. And I want to see you and my family, my friends smile. In my mind, when I die, that's what I want to see. And I think that's what God wants to see. That's all I have.
I love it, man. Dude, I love it. That's good, man. That's heartfelt. That's great. Yeah, that's straight from the heart. That was very heartfelt, Anthony. That was good, man. That's great. Yeah, it's a very genuine response to everybody's good night theme, I guess we'll call it. So what a great way to end this. So I'm going to tell everybody you can find me at on Instagram, Twitter, Parler for now, maybe until tomorrow night.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
At T21 Surfer, that's T, the number 2, the number 1, and that's Surfer. And also check out my podcast. I have some great interviews on Spotify. I'm on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcast, and others. But it's Lifestyle Philosophies with Tony Bruno. So you can check out there. I think I have about 15 interviews on there, conversations. But check me out there. So, Gonzo, how can everybody find you?
Yeah, so that's going to be gonzoschool.com. And you can also find everything at Gonzo School on YouTube. That's basically the bulk of where I'm putting everything. And if you want the art and stuff, and, you know, who knows, I don't know when this this little comic project or what have you.
Oh,
Anything
nice.
like that is going to be on midnightauthor.com. So.
Drew?
Drew Baumhauer on YouTube, Baumpower, Baumpower on Instagram, and Drew Baumhauer on Parler.
Awesome. Anthony, we know nobody, you don't want anybody to find you.
Oh, no, that's not true. That's not true. If you want some inspiration, whatever, I would suggest you to go to George Bruno on YouTube. George Bruno, the Daybreak Show. That's how I found you, and that's the guy I support, and I listen to him every day. So please, don't listen to me.
I appreciate that. It's my brother, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, come to my channel here, Tony Bruno.
Absolutely.
But, we're gonna leave off just so you guys know we do an after party, so you guys can stay on. But I'm gonna leave. Let's look at Earl's daughter. She has a closing comment too, so I'm gonna read it. It said, "My grandfather gave me pearls years ago. I hang on to often these days. Drop the ego, because ego is easing God out." And she's right. Being right should never alienate me from those I could reach. Yeah. You got to let go of your ego. That's for sure. What a great way to end it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have one last thing. I would like to add.
Go ahead.
On top of this, you just got to be careful with what you're doing, because once you go black, you never go back.
Ooh.
I like it.
Good night, everybody.
Cheers, everybody. Thank
Cheers.
you. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you. We'll see you Thursday night and also Saturday night. Cheers.
100%.